Welcome to the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex this afternoon for Varsity Football on Cogeco TV. I'm Mike James. Joining me today in the broadcast booth, Dave Palmer. Today's matchup, the Chatham-Kent Cougars welcoming the Hamilton Panthers. The Panthers come in with a 2-1 record, while the Cougars 1-2, but their only win so far coming on home field. They'll look to stay undefeated at home this afternoon here, Dave, and should be a good matchup so far. The teams look pretty balanced, taking a look at the records heading into today's contest.
And a perfect day for some football as well, Mike. Just a slight breeze, but otherwise just absolutely fantastic. Shouldn't affect the kicking game at all either, so looking forward to a great match between these two.
So the Cougars have won the toss, but they've deferred to the second half, so they'll be kicking off to Hamilton today. And the Cougars, of course, in the white and green. Hamilton, the Panthers, in the black with the red lettering. And Cougars and Hamilton getting set to kick off. As I mentioned in the outset, Hamilton 2-1, the Cougars 1-2. Both teams have fallen to Burlington last weekend. That was the Cougars at Burlington, an outstanding team so far this season. Nobody has scored on them so far. That includes Chatham and Hamilton.
You talk about a stifling defense, my goodness. But in talking to Cougars coach Sel Jordan, mentioning to you as well that it was a better second half for the Cougars, able to shut them down in the second half. So, I mean, that's got to be a boost of confidence as they head into this game as well.
Yeah, that's right. Last weekend, the Cougars at halftime trailed Burlington 34-0. They pitched a shutout in the second half. Sel Jordan mentioning that Burlington did put some of their second stringers in as the second half went on, but something for them to build on for sure. Sel saying that it was nice to see that at least that his team didn't quit.
Absolutely, and it's the confidence, as we know, in a game like football, that it comes in waves, right? So if they can build that and see if they can build on it more this afternoon as well.
So Clark Green kicking off for the Cougars to start this one off here on a great afternoon at the community complex at Chatham-Kent Secondary School. And to start, Hamilton's going to start on offense. Good job on special teams coverage there from the Cougars. Looks like Hamilton's going to take over from about their own 34-yard line. So the Cougars defense out onto the field, and we understand for Hamilton, their quarterback, which we have here as number 14, Chuck Wall. We understand not only does he like to throw the ball, but he's an outstanding runner as well. He leads Hamilton in rush yards.
And one thing to watch out for as well, too, is that they do tend to run a bit more of a spread offense, Hamilton. You'll see a lot of 4 wide receiver sets as well.
So Wall under center, 2 men in motion, and he's going to hand it off to the tailback. Nice play there on defense. Looks like little to no gain. Looks like that tackle made by the outstanding defensive tackle for the Cougars, number 99, Jordan Deneau, with the big stop. They're going to give him a gain of about 1 on that play, so it's going to bring up 2nd and 9 for Hamilton.
Hamilton with a huge offensive line as well, so look to see a good push up the middle for them if they try and run those off-tackle type plays.
So 2nd and 9 here for Hamilton. Looks like a 4 wide set. In the shotgun formation for Wall. He's going to drop back, looks to the right side. He had a receiver there. Oh, and a nice play from the defensive back. That's Jeremiah Hamilton coming up big. A great job by the defensive back, Jeremiah Hamilton, number 2. He got there, got the ball at its highest point. That pass falls incomplete, and the defense does its job to start this game. 2 and out. Hamilton forced to punt.
And certainly a great play, as you mentioned, by Jeremiah, coming up over the top as the ball was coming in on that wide receiver as well. And excellent play, and one of the reasons he's one of the Cougars' best players as well.
So 3rd down here, and the Cougars don't have anybody drop back to return this one. And Hamilton not... I'm a little bit confused by what's just transpired there.
Was that a turnover? Like, were they saying it was a catch and a drop? Because, I mean, now the Cougars have possession.
Oh, it looks, yeah, apparently it looks like that was a pick for the Cougars.
Or he came down with it. We just couldn't see it in that scrum of players.
Yeah, it looks like. So Chatham-Kent's got the ball. Sorry for the confusion there. Zach Welton under center. They're going to hand it off up the middle. A nice push there from the offensive line.
And
that's going to be enough for a first down.
So they move the chains and keep things going. Yeah, it was hard for us to see in that scrum of players that it looks like that they came up with the ball. So congratulations, Jeremiah Hamilton.
Yeah, pick for Jeremiah Hamilton. So an early turnover here, and the Cougars looking to take advantage. They get a first down on their first 2 plays, and so it brings up a 1st and 10 from the Hamilton 30-yard line. Zach Welton under center. 2 tailback formation. They're going to pitch it out wide. Try that right side.
A couple of nice blocks on that sweep as well that sprung him as well. That could have been a loss in the backfield there, but he was able to elude that tackle. And then a couple of nice blocks to pick up a good little gain.
Blaine Bayshard with the carry there, number 34. So a gain they're going to save about 3 yards maybe, to be generous. Blaine Bayshard, 6 feet, 215 pounds. Carries a load for sure.
So looking at a 2nd and 7 on this one.
Zach Welton's going to go under center for them this one. Chris Barrell in the backfield. 4 wide set for the Cougars. He's going to drop back to pass. He's looking over that right side. And that pass a little bit high, incomplete. Good coverage there from the Hamilton defense.
Almost better that it was a little bit high, because I think if it had been a little bit lower, the wide receiver might have taken a nasty hit, as Hamilton had a couple of guys back there in coverage as well. Just really nowhere to go with the ball at that point.
That pass intended for Cody St. Pierre. On the coverage was Tyler Garland. Good coverage there from Garland, so that brings up a 3rd and 7. And Clark Green's going to be on to attempt the field goal. This one looks to be about a 35-yarder. That ball is going to be placed at the just over the 35-yard line. Clark Green certainly has enough leg to make this one. In the warm-ups, he was kicking them from 45 out.
Slight wind pushing in his direction as well.
That one up, a bit of a line drive, and it's wide left. That's going to be run out by Hamilton, and they've got some space over there too. An outstanding return from the Hamilton Panthers to give them some good field position. That looked to be number 25, Greg Zeitz, with the return out of the end zone, so they don't give up the single. Yeah, good speed, nice blocking upfield, and some good field position here for Hamilton to get things going.
And a quick turnaround, how fast it can turn, right, from the possibility of 3 points into Hamilton now being set up on their own 44-yard line, first down.
So Chuck Wall in the shotgun formation. A 5 wide receiver set here for Hamilton. We mentioned they like to run that CFL-style offense. They're going to pass here on first down, out wide. That ball in the air a long time. They're going to say that's incomplete. Looked like the receiver had it to start.
I think juggling the ball a little bit. He never quite came down with possession, and then by the time he came down, the ball was separated from him as well. But you're right, Mike, that ball seemed to hang up there a little bit as well. Not sure if it just got caught up in the wind or what the case might have been.
A nice play there from the DB, Tristan Robinette, to come up and make the tackle and have that ball come incomplete. That was intended for the wide receiver, Austin Temperley, but Temperley just couldn't hold on to it. Robinette causing him to separate from the ball and bringing up a 2nd and 10 here from their own 35. Oh, excuse me, their own 45-yard line. Ball's dropping back. He's going to look for the right side, and that one's knocked down.
What a great play. Number 77, Jake Langstaff, getting in there on that one as well. 6'4", 215, so he's certainly got the height, and then when you're jumping on top of it as well, a little difficult for Hamilton's quarterback to make that play.
Yeah, Chuck Wall not able to get that pass off anywhere past the line of scrimmage, so the Cougars' defense so far pretty stifling, doing a nice job holding Hamilton down and not allowing their offense to get any confidence. So the Cougars back to receive this kick. And of course, one of those weapons that the Cougars certainly have is Graham Smith, 25. He's already returned a couple kicks for touchdowns, and Smith's going to get this one as well. He's going to try that right side. He's got a couple blockers. That's a decent return there. The Cougars going to take over the ball at the 50-yard line. That's about a return of about 15 yards there for Smith.
Nice return after Hamilton's kicker had actually muffed the punt a little bit and dropped the ball. So he was able to recover and get off a decent kick. And the Cougars coming back as well with a fantastic return. And so far, yeah, great defense from the Cougars so far, holding them down and recovering after that long return on the missed field goal.
So the Cougars take over at their own 50-yard line. Welton under center. He's going to hand it off for a quick hitter up the middle. That's Chris Verrill with the carry. And that's some good yardage there. Gain of about 7 or 8 yards. Verrill, that's a nice run. He had some troubles when we were here last, the first home game for the Cougars. It was a win, but Verrill just couldn't get on track when they beat the Forest City Thunderbirds.
Did a good job of staying on his feet on that one as well, and someone tried to take him out at the feet, and he was able to maintain his balance and pull off that 7-yard run.
So short yardage here, 2nd and 2 for the Cougars. They're going to try that right side. Oh, that's Verrill again, breaks a couple of arm tackles and still on his feet, still carrying a pile. A nice job by Chris Verrill there. A gain of about 17 yards and some nice blocking over that right side. Verrill keeping those legs churning and picks up some tough yards. And a nice run, Chris Verrill, 2 consecutive nice runs,
that was
getting
a
first
fantastic
down.
run, Mike, you got it. He kept those legs moving, and then when they tried to come up with those arm tackles, he was just able to power right through it.
So 1st and 10, and the Cougars offense starting to roll here. They're running the ball effectively. Welton under center. They're going to try Verrill up the middle again, and there's some room there. A nice job from the interior of that offensive line for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. That's a gain of about 8 yards there again. So that's a nice gain on first down when you can pick up 8 yards.
And when it's working, why not keep going to it, right? Keep going back to what's working until they can prove that they can actually stop it. And a couple of great runs off tackle as well, and right up the middle too with those quick hitters too.
Yeah, compliments go out to the center and the guards on either side doing a nice job clearing out that middle and allowing the Cougars to pick up some nice yardage on first down. So 2nd and short again, 2nd and 2 here for Chatham-Kent. They're going to pass it out to the right side. And they got a completion and more. That's Josh Woodman, the wide receiver. Woodman picks up about 5 yards in the first down. That's a safe first down conversion there. You just fire it out to your wide receiver on the line of scrimmage and let him make a play, make somebody miss, and that's exactly what Woodman does.
And such a talented young man as well, also going off to Western University this fall as well, been recruited there too, so clearly they've seen his talent and ability as well, something Hamilton's going to have to watch.
So Welton under center. They're going to try the middle of that Hamilton defense. Hamilton does a better job this time coming up with the stop. That time getting the carry for the Cougars. Looked like it was perhaps Josh Wright with the carry.
Hamilton got a good push coming up the middle as they brought their safeties in as well to kind of help out the D-line and the linebackers as well, just to fortify the middle of the field.
So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 here for Chatham-Kent. And they're going to right side, some misdirection, and they've got a lot of room over there. That's a nice job by the Cougars with some misdirection. They hand off to the running back, Blaine Bayshard, who, as we mentioned, he carries a load, 6 feet, 215. A little hesitation maybe from the Hamilton defenders to get in front of him with some momentum, and a nice carry, another first down. The Cougars showing they're able to run the ball here against this Hamilton defense early on.
And they're able to do that because they're stretching them out too as well, right? I mean, they're stretching their line across, and that misdirection really fooled Hamilton. They hesitated, and then the Cougars were able to take advantage of it.
So it's going to be 1st and goal here from about the 5-yard line for the Cougars. They hand off to Chris Verrill right up the middle. A nice push up front. Looks like he's going to come up just short of the goal line. And a nice thing so far for this game, we have no penalty flags. A much different story from what we had a couple weeks ago in the first home game of the season, where we calculated probably over 35 penalty flags in that game. So far, we haven't seen one. Nice to see a clean game so far.
And so far, both teams playing discipline with 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this first quarter, as the Cougars threatening to score and to open things up this afternoon.
So it's a 2nd and goal from about the 2-yard line. Verrill in the backfield. Welton's going to drop back, fake the handoff, and he's going to take it in himself for the score. Nobody on that left side. And that's a nice call for the Cougars offense. Touchdown Chatham-Kent. They strike first, 6-0. Zach Welton showing his athletic ability there. Some misdirection again to that right side. He rolls out to the left. No defenders in the way. An easy score for the quarterback for the Cougars.
And a great run for a man that's 6'2", 225 as well. And fantastic, as you said, Mike, they set it up, lots of runs to the inside, and then that opened things up for them to fake the run to the inside and the quarterback roll to the left side, and easy stroll into the end zone.
So Clark Green's going to look to add the single here. The Cougars leading 6-0 with just over 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. It's a good snap and hold. The kick's up. And the signal is it's good. So 7-0 here early on, 5:02 to go here in the first quarter, and that was a nice design on that play. As we mentioned, some misdirection there. The Cougars taking advantage of the ability to run the ball. They faked the handoff, and Zach Welton, as we've seen, he does have some athletic ability himself, the quarterback for the Cougars. Fakes the handoff and then just rolls out to that left side and strolls into the end zone. Zach Welton does have the ability to run, and you wonder if maybe Hamilton knew that, but they were so focused on the run because the Cougars have been so successful up to that point, and they hadn't seen Welton run up to this point in this game.
It was well set up and well-designed play as well to get the Cougars into the end zone, and so far so good. Cougars playing great on defense, offense moving the ball clearly as well. Even with that missed field goal, they had moved the ball down effectively too, so let's hope they can keep things going.
So a nice bounce back here so far after that loss last weekend to Burlington. Clark Green with the kickoff down that left side, and that one's going to stay inbounds. That's a nice kick right there, taken at the 1-yard line for Hamilton. And good coverage there from the Cougars, so a nice job on special teams. A great kick from Clark Green. That one just tiptoeing along the sidelines, doesn't go out of bounds. They avoid taking the penalty.
Yeah, I think that's obviously what the receiver was thinking, that, well, it's one of those plays. Should I take it? Should I let it go? And finally, he knew he had to take it around the 1, and let's see if the defense can hold him down here.
So Hamilton, the Panthers, going to start out with the ball here on their own 21-yard line. Hamilton so far with a turnover on offense, an interception by Jeremiah Hamilton, and Hamilton hasn't had a lot of success so far on offense. This their third possession. It's Wall under center. The Cougars showing blitz up the middle. We do have a couple flags. Might be an offside on the Cougars. Hamilton with a nice run there over that right side. I think this one might be an offside against the Cougars. We'll wait for the call.
A little too aggressive and jittery as they got close to the line, anticipating the snap count to try and jump in on that blitz.
Yeah, it looked like the Cougars were going to come right up the middle, and the flags came out. And it's the penalties declined because of the gain on that run there from Hamilton. We'll take a look. We're going to spot that, but that was a nice run from the Panthers. And there is the call. It's an offside call, and it's going to bring up a second and short. They're going to say second and about 6 inches.
Brendan Thompson, linebacker for the Cougars, just getting a bit too aggressive and trying to anticipate that snap count.
So Chuck Wall getting ready to take the snap. Might see a quarterback sneak here, or maybe a quick handoff just to the inside, and there is the handoff. A great job by the Cougars defense. We might have a turnover. It looked like that ball came loose. I think that's a turnover. That looked like a fumble from this angle. And it is. A great job by the defense for the Cougars. Looked like that was Connor Martin, the defensive lineman, ripping that ball out of the hands of the running back just as he was headed to the ground. And it looked like he was going to come up short of the first down. Then Martin just strips that ball out, and a big turnover here, the second one of the game already for the Cougars defense.
And I think they would have had to measure for that one anyway, because he was either really close or he had been stopped short to begin with as well. So great push along that right side of the line as well, with the line getting support from the linebackers and the DB on that side too.
Let's see if maybe the Cougars offense goes for a big hitter here right after that turnover in the Hamilton zone. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. No, they're going to try the middle. Chris Verrill again with the carry. They've had some success there, as we saw on that last drive that resulted in a touchdown for the Cougars. This time, not as much of a hole. Looks like it was a gain of about 3 or 4 yards at most. That'll bring up a second down.
And you've got to wonder if they're going to take that opportunity. I'm noticing a lot of one-on-one coverage on Josh Woodman on the outside. It may come to that point where you think, okay, if they're not going to bring the safety over to support, maybe you take a chance and see if you can just outmuscle the DB.
Yeah, it looks like Woodman's got a size advantage over there too. No, they're going to stay on the ground with it. That's going to be short of a first down. That time with the carry. Looks to be Blaine Bayshard again.
Down for it.
going for those tough yards inside. So that'll bring up a 3rd and a long 3 here. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to try for the field goal or if they'll look to keep this drive on offense going.
Looks like they're talking it over and trying to figure it out, right? And the quarterback's looking to see, okay, what are we doing at this point?
It looks like they're sending in a play, so I think they're going to try for the first down here on offense. They might have to hurry it up here, taking a bit of time to get that call in. So 3rd down here, the Cougars going for the 3rd down conversion on about the 24-yard line. Walton's going to pitch it outside to Josh Woodman, and he's got some room outside too. He's in for the score. No, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds just short of the end zone.
At the half-yard line.
Josh Woodman can't believe it, but a good call there from the Cougars. Again, just a quick hitter. You throw it out to your wide receiver right along the line of scrimmage. You let him make a play. They had got a nice block out there for Woodman as well, and he just runs it down the sideline for a gain of about 23 yards and comes up just inches short of the goal line. That'll bring up a 1st and goal. The Cougars threatening again.
And great speed by Woodman as well to be able to just accelerate through that hole as well. And so close to putting another touchdown on the board now.
Now Verrill in the backfield. They're going to try that middle, and he's in. Chris Verrill with the touchdown. The Cougars here, picture perfect first quarter, you might say, aside from an early missed field goal attempt. But with 2:02 to go here, the Cougars up 13-0, looking to add the extra point.
2 turnovers and 2 touchdowns now. One of the touchdowns resulting from that turnover, the first one was a missed field goal, but then they were able to stifle them on defense, come back and score their first touchdown, and now adding another one here at this point as well to take that early lead, and now trying to see if they can push it to 14.
So we've got a touchdown run for the quarterback for the Cougars, Zach Welton. This time a run for a touchdown from the running back, Chris Verrill, for the Cougars. We just got a bit of a delay here. Perhaps an injury timeout.
It looks like we're almost ready to go here as they're running in the kicker, I believe it is. So they're getting ready and all set here to see if they can get this extra point.
So Clark Green lining things up. Snap a little bit to the side, but a nice job by the holder there.
Fantastic job by the holder to get that down and into place as well. Such a timing thing, as any kicker will tell you, and they were able to pull that off and kicked it through with authority. 14-0 lead for the Cougars with 2:02 left in the first quarter.
Yeah, Cody St. Pierre, the holder, that snap a little bit down and to the right, but St. Pierre does a nice job getting his hands on it, putting it down, and Clark Green booting it through. And as you mentioned, the Cougars here 14-0, and a nice start, if you will, a bounce back game for them after that the tough outing in Burlington last week, and the coaching staff got to be happy so far with the effort that they're seeing from the players.
Clearly, I mean, they've worked on some things. They've, scouted Hamilton a little bit as well to know what some of their tendencies might be too, and they're coming up quickly on the line. I'm noticing that as well with that spread offense that the Hamilton Panthers run as well. You're noticing a lot of quick closes as well from the Cougars defensive backs.
So Clark Green teeing it up here. Looking to keep a good run of special teams play going. 2:02 to go here in the first quarter. Green boots it deep down the middle pretty much. And Hamilton's got it. They're going to try that right side on the return. That's a decent return there before finally being dragged down. A good job of dragging some tacklers. Hamilton getting out to about the 35-yard line on the return there. That was, it looks like it might have been Tyler Garland. So Garland, a nice job with the return.
Special teams are so amazing to watch, aren't they, in any game as well? That collision that can happen from one side and the other too.
So Hamilton's going to look to get something going here. So far, the Cougars defense really stifling the offense of the Panthers. They haven't really managed to do much. We still haven't seen the quarterback run yet, Chuck Wall, and we're told he is a threat to run the ball. That pass completed over on the right side. Looks to be a minimal gain over there.
And almost ripped out of his hands as well. Nice play by the Cougars as they seem to be obviously feeding off of the success of the offense as well. And the defense certainly playing with some confidence and aggressiveness too.
Looks like that pass was caught by Davis Winch, number 1 for Hamilton. So a short gain, as we mentioned, just a gain of about a yard. So that'll bring up 2nd and long. Tough position here for Hamilton. The Cougars, a good opportunity here to come up with another big stop and not allow Hamilton to get any confidence here on offense. So Wall's going to take it from the shotgun formation. 1 tailback, 3 receivers in motion. He's going to drop back to pass on this one. He's looking over that left side. Oh, a nice job there from Hamilton. A nice pass and catch there. That one caught by
number 76.
Garrett McMullen.
Yeah, 6'4", 180. So big target, and that ball thrown with a bit more authority than the one that held, kind of seemed to hang up in the air on the last series that Hamilton had as well. A little bit more zip. He was able to get out there pretty quick before our D could close.
Yeah, Garrett McMullen finds the hole in the defense there, just sits down in that nice spot in that first down coverage and makes the catch. And Hamilton gaining a little bit of confidence, a little more room in their own end of the field. And they'll bring up 1st and 10 from their own 47-yard line. We got a flag on the play. It's a pitch out to that left side. Good job on the tackle there. Coming up to make that play was Graham Smith. But again, we do have a flag on the field. We'll see what this one is. Oh, it's an offside against Chatham, so they'll accept that penalty. So it's going to be 1st and 5 now for Hamilton. They're going to say that it was Jake Langstaff that was offside for the Cougars. So Hamilton accepts the penalty, and it's 1st and 5 now for the Panthers.
Not sure if he jumped or if he just kind of was into the neutral zone maybe a little bit as well. Maybe just too much of a lean forward as well.
The clock ticking down here, excuse me, with about 12 seconds and counting to go in the first quarter. The Cougars lead 14-0. Wall in the shotgun formation, 3 receivers in motion. He's going to look out to that right side. Oh, a nice throw and catch again. And that's enough for a 1st down, a gain of about 14 there. And
Showing
that's
off
number
that
1.
arm strength, that's for sure.
Yeah, Davis Winch with the catch again. We've seen Winch catch a couple now. And again, a gain of 14, and that's enough for a 1st down. So Hamilton's starting to get things rolling here in the air, not on the ground.
Yeah, they're getting their confidence, obviously, with the fact that they are that type of offense, as we were told before the game, that will spread them out. And obviously, Chatham just needs to stay disciplined and stay in their zones and not run around in the defensive backfield.
Well, we got a stoppage in play here. Looks like the referees are talking.
Just about to get the second quarter underway here with Chatham up 14-0. So far, it's been a picture-perfect day and a picture-perfect afternoon for the Chatham-Kent Cougars as well with how they're playing so far.
Yeah, as we mentioned, coming into this game, 1-2. Hamilton 2-1. But as we mentioned, they've played a couple of teams and they've had pretty much the same results. They both lost to Burlington, and then earlier this year they both beat London. So they'll run that ball over the left side. A nice job there from the defense. Looks like it was Jordan Deneau with the tackle. That was a gain of about 3 or 4 yards at the most, and they're going to say that's the end of the first quarter, so they're going to switch sides here. And really a nice start to this game for Chatham-Kent. See if they can keep it rolling. Hamilton now starting to come on a little bit. This is the first time we've really seen the Panthers get some movement on offense.
Well, and what they're doing too is they're doing a lot of these quick hits where the wide receivers are just finding a little open spot in the zone, and then they're sitting down and waiting, and their quarterback seems to be getting a bit more confidence as well. You can see he's throwing with a bit more authority too. We were told coming in, big arm and running abilities for him as well.
And that's one thing we still haven't seen, as we mentioned. Chuck Wall, number 14, the quarterback for the Panthers, we've been told that he can run the ball. He's their leading rusher. Now, so far, that might be a case of maybe Hamilton not having a good run game, because we really haven't seen them have any success running the ball. But Wall hasn't run the ball yet himself, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's early in this game. There's still a lot of time to see that side of things as well. So Wall's going to drop back, looking over that left side, nothing there, getting some pressure, and he goes down, just trips over his own feet. He was getting pressure from the right side and up the middle. Pressure coming from Connor Martin over that right side, and then up the middle from Matt Carlini. And a nice job there from the Cougars defense. That'll go down as a sack, so that brings up a 3rd and 20 now. And Hamilton likely going to be forced to punt this ball away.
Yeah, Jordan Deneau with a nice push up the middle as well. 6'2", 272. So we're seeing a great battle along the line because Hamilton comes in with an absolutely massive offensive line, some of these guys. And the Cougars responding so far and getting a little good pushback of their own.
So the Cougars back to accept this kick. A little bit of a wind in the face of the kicker here for Hamilton. Going to try that right side. And goes right to Graham Smith. He's the dangerous returner for the Cougars, running it up the middle. Good coverage there from Hamilton, though. And the Cougars will start with the ball at their own 37-yard line, it looks to be. So a nice return from Smith, but a nice kick and coverage from Hamilton as well. Not allow the dangerous returner from the Cougars to get anything really going there.
And Jake Langstaff, number 77, with a great block to help to spring him for at least a few yards as well to bring the Cougars out, not quite so pinned so deep into their own zone.
So the Cougars take over on offense here, leading 14-0, 13-42 and counting to go here in the first half. Cougars offense moving the ball well so far in this game. They do have a missed field goal and then 2 touchdowns to go along with that. So they'll hand off the ball over that left side. Not much there. Good penetration there from the safety. A safety blitz that time from Steve Connery, number 2 for Hamilton. We've been told, watch out for Steve Connery. Not only is he a good blitzer, but he's a bit of a ball hawk back there as well. We understand last week he had an interception return for a touchdown.
And this is where we're starting to see, I think, maybe Hamilton trying to make some adjustments and recognizing that Chatham is going to use a lot of those quick hitters and, up the middle type plays as well. Waiting to see for one of those outside passes as well, potentially to Woodman.
So Welton under center. He's going to keep it himself, running out to that left side. Couple blockers there, but he's going to be short of the first down. That was a design run all the way. That was
an opportunity there for a second as well, but then Hamilton just seemed to close very quickly, and they were able to stop him a couple of yards short from that first down.
So for the first time today, the Cougars are going to have to punt this one away. The ball at their own 43-yard line. 3rd and about 4. So Clark Green on to punt this ball away. Clark Green, one of the 3 Cougars that made the Ontario West team and will represent Ontario West to play for the Canada Cup in July. So congratulations to Clark Green. That's a beautiful punt right there. Hangs up nice and high on that left side. Return man for Hamilton, make that first one miss, but good coverage downfield. Chris Verrill with the tackle on the return by Jack Fuller.
Great hang time as well, allowing the special teams to get under and to be able to cover that one as well.
Special teams can be such a big help if, in terms of field position there, obviously making things a lot tougher for Hamilton to get any points on the board. And also the Cougars showing that special teams is definitely one of their strengths with a couple of kick returns so far this year for touchdowns. And
I'm sure they practiced that after the last game, because Sel Jordan saying that they did have some issues in the last game as well, where there were some unforced errors where they were beating themselves on special teams.
Yeah, he mentioned that they had a couple turnovers on offense, some turnovers on special teams, and overall they were looking for a better effort this week. And so far that's what we're seeing. Oh, a nice pop there from the linebacker. Looked like that was Brendan Thompson, or sorry, I think it was Josh Schuin coming right through the hole just over that left side. And Schuin coming up with a nice big smack and a gain of about a half a yard.
If that, yeah. He met him straight up in the hole as well and drove him back as well. Fantastic play.
We've seen that so far this year from Schuin. He can lay a good lick. That time, the running back for Hamilton feeling the punishment.
5'9", 205, so he's built like a fire hydrant, right? I mean, he's got that low center of gravity.
So 2nd and a long 9 here for Hamilton. They're going to pass. Wall looking back over that left side, and that one's going to fall incomplete. So a good job from the Cougars defense here.
Not sure if Wall lost his grip on that one or not, but it just came out as a fluttery pass right from the get-go.
So a bit of a Jim Kelly spiral, as they call it. And so the Cougars special teams coming back on the field. Going to look to get some good field position here after that nice stand from the defense, only allowing about 6 inches of offense for Hamilton. It's Graham Smith back to return the kick along with Josh Wright. Smith on the near side here, Wright on the far side. standing about their own 40-yard line. It's a better snap this time for Hamilton. They did get some pressure up the middle, the Cougars did, but that's a pretty good kick for Hamilton. That ball gets out of bounds at about the 50-yard line, and that's where the Cougars will take over their own 50-yard line. So about midfield here for Chatham-Kent. A nice starting position, 11:01 to go in the second quarter.
Forced the kicker to rush a little bit more than he wanted to as well, because they were able to get some penetration there. And almost surprised, not surprised necessarily that there wasn't a flag. Sometimes they'll call it if the kicker even gets touched, right? And there was a slight bump, but I'm glad that they didn't call it, because it was in the follow-through, and not much you can do when you're in the air. You can't change your direction.
So the Cougars offense leading 14-0, looking to put some more points on the board. Certainly some nice field position. They're going to say they're about the 49-yard line now, so just short of that 50. And Welton's going to hold on to it, roll out to that right side. He's got a receiver over there, and that's a nice passing catch. It looked like some good coverage there, but it's a passing catch nonetheless. It looked like that was Cody St. Pierre coming up with that completion. And Cody St. Pierre becoming a bigger part of this offense as the season goes on.
Yeah, great play, great hands as well, as he was able to come down with that one. And they're saying second and very short.
So a nice conversion there on first down. So it brings up a second and short. Now we did see on the second and short, we'll see a run up the middle or that pass down the line of scrimmage. This time they'll just run it up the middle, and Barrel has it easily.
And he just kept those legs going as well. Even though they met him almost right at the line of scrimmage, he was able to carry a couple of tacklers for an additional couple of yards.
So a nice job there from the Cougars to keep those chains moving. So that brings up a 1st and 10. They're on the opposite side of the field now at the Hamilton 48-yard line. Cougars offensive line making its way to the line of scrimmage. 3 backs in the backfield. They'll hand it off over that right side. Some good tough yards over that right side. Looks like that was Mitchell Raitt with the carry.
So a couple of yards as a pickup there, so we're going to bring up about 2nd and 8.
Mitchell Raitt going to the sidelines. Second down here for the Cougars. Just over 9 minutes left to play in the second quarter. The Cougars lead 14-0. A nice start to this game for the home squad. So it brings up a second, and we'll call it a long 6, if you will. Chris Barrel in the backfield, 4 wideouts. They're going to go deep to Josh Woodman over that right side, and it's just overthrown. We have a flag on the play. Wait and see what this one is. Might be a holding against the Cougars. Looks like it's around that line of scrimmage where you would get a hold.
There was a bit of a push up the middle by Hamilton as well.
And that's what it is there. It is a holding call against the Cougars. That one going against Brian Armstrong, the offensive lineman who we understand is headed back to the University of Western next year to play football as an offensive lineman. So that penalty declined against the Cougars. Hamilton declines it with that ball falling incomplete on second down. So that brings up a 3rd and, as we mentioned, a long 6 here for Chatham-Kent. So they'll kick this one away. They're going to punt. Clark Green comes on to put the boot to it for the Cougars.
See if they can pin him deep, and might have the opportunity to come up with another good play on defense.
So a nice snap there. A bit of pressure, but Clark Green gets a hold of that one again. Sends the return man back. They might get a single on this one. Hamilton would be wise to take a knee. No, they're going to try to run it out. And that's a single for the Cougars. A nice job there from the special teams for Chatham-Kent. They get a single point off of that nice kick from Clark Green. Great job, nice coverage from the Cougars, and some high fives for Clark Green heading to the sidelines. A great kick there, and that pays off for the Cougars.
I know sometimes you want to put a little bit of pressure on the coverage people to see if they can, make the play, but at the same time, boy, you risk getting the ball stripped or something, even worse happening to you than a single point.
So Hamilton's going to take over the ball here at their own 35-yard line. Now trailing 15-0, and I'm sure the Hamilton offense looking to get something going. They did have some success on their last possession throwing the ball. wouldn't be surprised to see them continue to try to go to the air here. They haven't had much success on the ground, if any at all.
It seems to be their forte, right? I mean, it's their offensive choice that they run, and we've seen it a lot so far this first half. So I would assume they're going to try and keep picking away.
So Chuck Wall still at quarterback, 5 wide receiver set. He's looking over that left side. Ooh, that one tipped. A nice job there from Josh Ewan, getting his right hand on it, the linebacker, knocking that one down.
Which was good that he did, because he did have a man open as well for one of those same plays that we've been seeing so far where they've had success. Is just those little curl patterns where they're stopping, finding that spot in the zone, and then he's able to deliver the ball.
So Hamilton quick to get to the line here. They don't even huddle, maybe trying to catch the Cougars defense in a bit of a surprise move and not allow them to make any substitutions either. He's looking over that left side. He's got a long ways to throw that one. And the wide receiver looking to break a couple tackles. Good coverage there from the Cougars, a swarming defense.
Jeremiah Hamilton leading the way once again as well for the Cougars too. Just wouldn't let that guy go.
They nearly stripped the ball as well, trying to get their hands on that football, and that brings up a third down. That's a great job by the defense there. That pass was caught by Nathan Brown. He made the first man miss a little bit, but Jeremiah Hamilton coming in to clean that one up and not allow them to get that first down. So Hamilton going to have to punt this one away. The Cougars defense does its job.
And we're seeing the confidence breeding confidence on both sides of the ball for the Cougars, as well as the offense has been able to have some success, obviously putting points on the board and more importantly moving the ball too and keeping it out of the hands of that Hamilton offense.
Well, we got a stoppage here from the referees. See what the officials are talking about. While they're chatting, we'll let you know that Graham Smith and Josh Wright are both back to return this punt, standing at about their own 37-yard line. I've been surprised so far. They haven't avoided kicking the ball to Smith. Oh, that's a bad snap. That one low, and oh, the Cougars nearly getting a block on that one. Looks like Smith's going to grab this one. Hamilton doing a nice job of not getting a no yards penalty, but Smith showing that burst over the right side. A nice return there from Graham Smith, getting that ball out to about the, just over midfield to about the 53-yard line of Hamilton, and he nearly breaks one there, showing that playmaking ability.
And you almost want that sometimes, right? When you get that big push and then you get the ball kind of dropping, it allows you to kind of survey the field a little bit before you pick up the ball, and he did that. He spotted that opening and he was through it quick.
And boy, does he hit that hole quick. He spots that hole, and next thing you know, he's at full speed.
Great acceleration.
Yeah, he is a dangerous return man for sure. As we've mentioned, a couple of touchdowns already this year on special teams. So the Cougars offense takes over at the 54-yard line of Hamilton. Welton gonna hand it off to Chris Verrill. He does a nice job breaking through the contact right away.
Now we've got a flag down, a little bit of extracurricular going on there as well. So hopefully it's not against the Cougars, but we'll have to wait and see. Number 53 of the Cougars getting into that one, Jake Lilly.
Wesley King got some good penetration there for Hamilton, but Verrill ran right through him to make it a positive yards play. But as you mentioned, some extracurricular activity. And this is one thing that actually head coach Sel Jordan did mention to us, that last week they did have some extracurricular penalties getting called, and that was one thing they wanted to avoid this week, was shooting themselves in the foot. So you
have to stay disciplined in those cases, and emotions can run high obviously as well, but I mean at that point the play is well over. So we'll see how this one is called, because the Hamilton player's helmet did come flying off in that scrum.
Only because of Barry.
Okay, so they're calling major fouls against both teams.
Offsetting.
So it'll bring up a 2nd and 6 here for the Cougars. And the Cougars, luckily not the only ones penalized on that one. So Welton's going to drop back to pass, looking over the middle. That looks like it's picked off, and it is. A nice job there. It looked like it was Cooper Sklepowicz, the DB for Hamilton, just sitting in the middle of that zone. That ball finds its way right into his numbers, and he holds on to it. So a turnover there for Zach Welton, a pick.
A dangerous pass to begin with, because it went right through one of the linebackers' hands as well. At first I thought he had gotten away with it until Hamilton obviously comes up with the ball.
So a big play there from the Hamilton defense. The Cougars had some pretty decent field position, so the Panthers going to look obviously to take advantage here with just under 6 minutes to go in the second quarter, trailing 15-0. The Panthers obviously need to get something going here early late in this first half.
And clearly where you're looking for your defense to step up and bail out your offense here for the Cougars.
So Wall's going to drop back to pass on first down, looking over that right side. It looked like that one might have fallen through the hands of the receiver and hit the ground, but we'll see if the referees call that a completed pass. Nope, they're going to say that was incomplete, so I think they saw it the same way we did. Looked like it went right through the hands of the receiver and hit the ground.
And again, that ball hung up for quite a while. For as many good passes as we're seeing from Hamilton's quarterback, Chuck Wall, we're seeing the odd one too, where he kind of tends to float it. And he's not quite following through because he's got some of these guys open, but he's not able to hit them.
Well, okay, Hamilton really overloading this right-hand side now. We've got 5 receivers on the right side. Wouldn't be surprised to see a receiver screen. He's going to go over the middle now. Oh, that's nice job on coverage there for the Cougars. Tristan Robinette, step for step. He actually had better position than the receiver did to get to that one.
If the ball was thrown a bit further, that would have been intercepted for sure, as Tristan Robinette was right with that receiver the whole way.
Great coverage there from Tristan Robinette, one-on-one. Obviously, Hamilton looking to get that matchup. They swing the 5 receivers out to the wide side of the field and then just try to get that man-to-man coverage over on the left side, but it didn't work out for them. Robinette showing his skills there and forcing Hamilton to punt the ball away.
And the defense comes up big once again for the Cougars to be able to make up for that mistake on offense.
Well, we've got a flag here before the punt. Your usual characters out there on the return, Josh Wright and Graham Smith. That one's a 5-yard penalty going against Hamilton.
A little bit of movement on the line as well. Just a bit of a jump for Hamilton, so an extra 5 yards of benefit for Chatham.
So a little better field position here. And again, Hamilton, the wind's swirling a little bit down here on the field. Maybe a little bit in the face of the kicker here. The Cougars have come close at blocking a couple of these so far, but this time a good snap and a good kick away. This one's going to go to Josh Wright. He's going to pick it up at his own 40 and try that left side. He's got some room and a couple of big blocks, and he's going to go all the way. We had no flags on the play. Josh Wright in for the score.
What a fantastic return. It doesn't look like there's any flags on the field as well as you said, Mikey. So just perfect setup. He got a couple of fantastic blocks. That lane opened up, and then you just weren't going to catch him.
Yeah, beautiful block there. He got one from his return man as well. His co-return man, we should say. Smith getting a block. Nice lane over that left side, and then he just showed a burst 60 yards for the touchdown. Josh Wright. And it's 21-0 here for the Cougars looking to add the extra.
Great wheels from Josh Wright as well with that quick acceleration to be able to get over to that left side quickly, and Hamilton just couldn't cover.
So here we go. Clark Green gets the extra point up and good. Oh, we've got a flag on the play here.
Having a discussion here, we're not quite sure what they're calling.
Okay, illegal substitution, they're saying, for the Cougars. So the Cougars will have to kick the extra point again, and then the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So kind of a double whammy, right? Because you have to do the re-kick, and then you also get hit with that 5 yards on the kickoff once they're ready for that too.
So again, the Cougars lead 21-0 here, 4:28 to go in the second quarter. Looking to make it 22. A nice snap. It's down, and it's up, and it's good. So good job there from the Cougars converting that score, and it's 22-0 here for Chatham-Kent. And again, so far the Cougars impressive on offense, defense, and special teams that time.
All facets of the game so far have played out well, Mike, for the Chatham-Kent Cougars so far. And Hamilton certainly spinning their wheels a little bit and obviously reeling down 22-0 at this point with 4.5 to go in this first half. It's, as we said at the outset, it's a beautiful day for football, and it's been a beautiful half so far for the Cougars, too.
Yep, so Cougars obviously going to be looking to keep that donut up on the board for Hamilton as they look to go on offense here.
Keep them down and don't allow them to have any sort of confidence builders going into the first half as well.
Yeah, no doubt. So the two teams getting ready now here on special teams for the kickoff. As we mentioned, there was a penalty on that extra point, so the penalty here being assessed on the kickoff to the Cougars. So they'll kick off from the 35-yard line. So a chance here for Hamilton to get some good field position, but so far Clark Green's done a nice job kicking these balls deep and giving his special teams a chance to get down on some good coverage.
Now, I'm not sure if he's being benefited by the wind or not as well, but he's been getting great hang time and good lift on most of his kicks.
So that one a little bit shorter on the right side. This one definitely returnable. Decent special teams coverage there, though.
First guy down, that shotgun guy on the outside, was able to get down there so quickly that he forced the receiver to kind of step. And by that point, he was able to get some help as well from the other guys on special teams.
So Hamilton's going to take over the ball on offense on their 40-yard line. 4:22 to go here in the second quarter. Again, the Cougars lead 22-0 on 3 touchdowns. 2 of them on offense and 1 of them on special teams. We just had a 60-yard punt return touchdown by Josh Wright, absolutely electrifying the crowd here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. And Hamilton here now taking over the ball on offense, looking to get anything going heading into the second half. Chuck Wall at offense in the shotgun formation. He's going to hand the ball off. Oh, a nice stick there from the linebacker. That time, I believe, again, that is Josh Schuin laying the wood. Just as the running back gets through that offensive line, Schuin just waiting for him to fill the hole, doing a great job keeping that a minimal gain. They're going to say no gain on that run. So
he met him straight up and drove him back once again as well. So a couple of great plays and able to stop Hamilton for no gain whatsoever. And again, just keeping the throttle down on defense, just like they're doing on offense as well.
So we'll look for Hamilton to air this one out a bit. 2nd and 10. Wouldn't expect a run play here. Oh, and of course they try to prove me wrong, so they go run over that left side, and that's a nice gain. That's going to be close to first down yardage. That was a nice run there from Hamilton.
A little bit of misdirection at the same time as well. I think a lot of us that he was going to fire it out here to the right side as well with that one receiver that was open, but nice change of direction onto the left side, but they kept him short.
So they're going to say that was a gain of 5 yards, and Hamilton's going to trot out the punt team. We're at the 3-minute warning. So now a tough decision here for the punter for Hamilton. Does he kick it to Josh Wright, who just had a 60-yard return for a touchdown, or does he kick it to Graham Smith, who's already returned a couple of kicks for scores this season? We're only in the 4th game of the season so far here in the OFC. So this kick is going into the hands of Josh Wright. Oh, it hits his hands, hits the ground, and he just knocks it out of bounds. So a heads-up play by Josh Wright.
After the muff punt, great play to be able to just knock it out of bounds as well. So prevents Hamilton from getting any sort of momentum on a recovery.
We just had a late flag come in after the play was over, and that flag coming in right in front of the Hamilton bench. So I wouldn't.
Is he being called for knocking it out of bounds?
No, I wouldn't be surprised. This is called for maybe some jawing over there at the sidelines. Again, it was well after the play was over, and it was right in front of the Hamilton bench. So I wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do with some chatter going on over there on the side of the Hamilton bench. The referee's discussing it right now, and
the conference is on.
We'll get a clarification here from the referees. But again, a heads-up play from Josh Wright. He was trying to catch that ball on the run and get his momentum going forward, but unfortunately it just bounced off of his hands. But he did a Nice heads-up play from Josh Wright to just knock that out of bounds and maintain possession.
And that's what makes you wonder if, in doing that, if there wasn't a couple of things said along the sidelines. We'll get the call here.
Oh, the referee's calling the sticks back. This one might be going against Chatham by looking at the sticks here.
Hard to say because the conference is still ongoing, Mike.
Now the referee's going over to the Cougars sideline to discuss the play.
So letting Coach Jordan and the staff know what exactly was being called, or maybe what was being said.
Yeah, and according to the sticks here, that penalty is going against Chatham. And now, is this the So they're saying that Josh Wright went out of bounds and then came back into the field of play and then knocked the ball out of bounds. In that scenario, the ball then goes to possession to the other team.
Oh my goodness, what a strange turn of events here with 2.5 to go in the first half.
So that's a tough one here for the Cougars to swallow. Just when you think the return man's made a heads-up play, unfortunately didn't realize that he'd gone out of bounds. Of course, it's such a bang-bang play, it's hard to tell when it happened so quickly, but the referee saying he stepped out of bounds, then came back into the field of play, then pushed the ball out of bounds, therefore giving the ball over back to Hamilton because you can't go out of bounds and come back into the field of play and play the ball. So Hamilton, fortunate there to get this ball.
And it took them forever to come up with that call as well, and trying to make sure they're getting the right call.
So they're on the Cougars' 34-yard line, the best field position for the offense here for Hamilton so far in this game. They're going to throw the ball out to the left side. He's got a receiver open. Nice job by the Cougars defense. No extra yards after the catch.
Good coverage on the initial hit as well, getting a little bit of support.
Tristan Robinette there, the first man over to make the tackle. So that's going to bring up a 2nd and 5, it looks like. So this is going to be a big stop here for the Cougars if they can get it and force Hamilton to make an attempt at a field goal after that strange play that we had on the punt.
Yeah, that was a little bit bizarre.
So ball in the shotgun position. He's got the tailback to his left. And he's going to look to pass, looking over that left side. He's got a couple of receiver options, and it's picked off. A nice job. It looks like that's Graham Smith, and he's got some blockers in front, and he's got speed. He could go all the way down that left sideline. Just one man in pursuit. The quarterback roll that could catch him. He's in for the score. Touchdown, Chatham-Kent. And a beautiful job by Graham Smith.
What a play. He absolutely read it. He read the quarterback's eyes. He watched where he was going, and he set up waiting for him to make that pass, closed on it, and then there was no stopping him after that point because he just accelerated again, showing that quick burst of speed that even the quarterback, who's known for his running abilities, wasn't able to cut down the angle enough to be able to take him down.
That was, by my calculations, a 90-yard interception return for a touchdown.
That was fantastic. What a play, what a return as well. And again, bounce back for the Chatham-Kent Cougars after that bizarre play that resulted in the turnover in the first place.
So some redemption there for the Cougars. It was Graham Smith's return partner, Josh Wright, that was penalized and on the turnover. And then Graham Smith picks up his return man with the return for a touchdown, and the extra point is good by Clark Green, and the Cougars now lead 29-0 with 2:02 to go here in the second quarter, and an outstanding performance so far in all facets of the game for Chatham-Kent.
And a nice attempt in the end zone by the ref to catch that one just off the hands. We'll let him get away with that one.
So we've seen just about everything so far here from the Cougars in terms of getting the ball in the end zone. We've got a quarterback scramble for a touchdown. We've got a running back in for a TD. We've got a punt return for a touchdown, and now an interception return for a touchdown. So
you talk about hitting on every level when it comes to being able to put points up on the board, and the Cougars certainly have been able to do that so far. And again, with 2:02 left to go in the first half, it becomes a matter now of making sure to stop them so that they don't get any confidence going into that second half.
Yeah, that's right. The Cougars, a nice big cushion here. One thing we haven't mentioned is that the Cougars have said that they're going to look to get their backup quarterback, Ryan Brook, some series here. Not sure how many series they'll try to get him in. They've been trying to get him in each game, really, and that's going to stay the same here today. So maybe early in the second half with this big league. So Clark Green kickoff, a nice deep kickoff. Wow, a great job. The return man puts one hand on it. It goes into their own end zone. And Hamilton going to look to get anything out of this return. Wow, a great job on special teams by the Cougars. An outstanding kickoff from Clark Green forces the return man back into his end zone. We've got a swirling wind here, but it looks like the wind was helping him on that one. And beautiful job by specials. The Hamilton Panthers going to be deep in their own zone to start this one off.
Got that kick up into the wind, I think, Mike, you're right, and it just carried. I don't think the return man was anticipating that sort of a carry, and it almost went right over his head.
So it looks like Hamilton's going to start here from inside their own 15-yard line. So a nice starting position here for the Cougars defense.
How aggressive do you want to be right this deep?
Just pin your ears back and get after the quarterback. The one thing you just don't want to allow here is the big play. Cougars have done a good job of not allowing that so far in this game. Good job by the defense, some good penetration there. Eventually the tackle made by Connor Martin.
Able to hold him to a very short gain, if any at all.
Well, they're going to call that a loss of about 3 yards. So some outstanding play from that defensive line and that linebacking crew, and now a real tough position here for Hamilton, deep in their own zone. 2nd and 13. It's a 5 wide receiver set, 3 receivers out to the right, 2 to the left. Wall joined by a running back in the backfield. He's going to swing it out to the left side, a bit of a wide receiver screen. Oh, and a beautiful job there. Nice tag team tackle. That was
a pop by Jeremiah Hamilton, too.
Yeah, Jake Langstaff holding up the receiver on the tackle, and then Jeremiah Hamilton coming in to clean that up. A nice job by the Cougars defense. They're going to call that a gain of about 5 yards, so 3rd and 8.
That's a tough 5 yards, and one that receiver will be thinking about the next time he tries to go over to that side of the field.
So it'll be interesting to see here if Hamilton maybe gives up the single and avoids the tough field position. Maybe just take a knee here in the end zone.
Minute 26 to go in this first half as the Cougars are up 29-0 at this point.
So I'd expect Hamilton to take a knee here in their own end zone instead of kick it away to Graham Smith and Josh Wright. Now I think we do have a timeout for the Cougars.
Trying to save a little bit of time here on the clock as well, as you had to anticipate that perhaps that Hamilton was going to let it go down as far as possible, maybe even take a penalty.
Yeah, well, looks like there's a substitution being made here, so maybe they didn't have enough men on the field. Because now we've got Evan Vaughn trotting onto the field.
So a heads-up play if that's the case, that they were able to catch that before that resulted in any issues.
So again, it's 3rd and 9 here for Hamilton, deep in their own zone, about their own 15-yard line it looks to be. And again, you'd expect Hamilton to take a knee in their own zone. Back to kick it is Derek Adams.
Maybe run around a bit, kill off a little bit of this clock as well.
It's a bad snap, and he is going to kick it away. That's a good kick from Adams. Josh Wright under it, makes the catch, looking for a lane over that right side. Some good coverage there from Hamilton, but he bounces off a would-be tackler and finds some room over to that right side. That's a nice job by Josh Wright to break a tackle, get around the corner, and get some positive yards there when it almost looked like he was going to lose yardage.
You're not going to take him down just trying to arm tackle around the ankles and whatnot as well. He bounced right off of that tackle because the Hamilton player didn't try and wrap. He tried to go low at the legs, and he just kept those legs moving and bounced right off of him, and gave a great return for the Cougars. They're in good shape here. 53 seconds to go in this first half.
Yeah, so they'll go 1st and 10 here from Hamilton's 40-yard line. And a nice job here, a good opportunity for the Cougars to put some more points on the board before this first half is out.
And I think you need to stay aggressive here and try and get as big of a lead as you can.
Yep, they're going to pitch it out to the left side, and they've got some room. We do have a flag. This one might be a holding flag. That run by number 74, Hilton Clooney. the wide receiver, but we do have a flag. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a hold or an illegal block, and it is against the Cougars, so this one's coming back.
So it'll be 1st and 20 after the assessment of the penalty.
Yeah, that's a holding call against the Cougars. That's a tough one after a nice run there from Hilton Clooney.
47 seconds to go in this first half as we look to close things out here on what's been a great half of football so far for Chatham.
Yeah, that's a tough one too because, you know, you're maybe looking at the very least to get a field goal. Now you're pretty deep. You're just about midfield now. You're at about the 50-yard line. So with 47 seconds to go, you certainly don't want to turn the ball over and give Hamilton any chances to score before the end of the half either.
Into the shotgun.
Welton's going to fake the handoff. He's looking over the middle, and oh, that ball should have been picked off. It was dropped by Derek Adams.
Right through his hands.
And again, it actually almost ended up in the receiver's hands as well after it went through Adams' hands, but slightly deflected. So far, the key to the offense for the Cougars has been the run.
So far, they've been doing the run so effectively, whether it's to the inside or some of the sweeps that they've been able to get as well. I still think that there's going to be an opportunity with Josh Woodman as well. He's still seeing a lot of one-on-one coverage.
Let's see where they look to go this one here. They're going to air it out again. He's going to look for that left side. Oh, and that one nearly picked off as well. A nice job by the defender. That pass was intended for Blaine Bayshard, the running back.
He had to rush the throw a little bit, Mike, and I think he got it off of his back foot as well. So he just didn't quite get enough. It was kind of like a flick of the arm instead of putting a good throwing motion into it.
So that hold against the Cougars is costly because the Cougars now going to have to punt this one away with 39 seconds to go and negate any opportunity of scoring unless they're able to get a single here. Clark Green back to punt this one away. He's standing at his own, just inside his own 45-yard line. Looks to be his 46-yard line now. It's a low snap, but he's able to get that one off, and a booming kick again. Clark Green, a great kick. Hamilton looking to return that from about their own 1-yard line, and that's some nice coverage there from special teams. Again, Clark Green having an outstanding day kicking the ball.
Fantastic coverage after that great kick. Now, it'll be interesting to see, because the winds do seem to be swirling, if when they change sides for the second half, whether that then will favor Hamilton in the kicking game.
So Hamilton going to be pinned deep in their own zone here. Look to be at about their own 10-yard line. 28.3 seconds to go in this first half here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. You're watching Varsity Football here on TV Cogeco. I'm Mike James, joined by Dave Palmer. And the Chatham-Kent Cougars hosting the Hamilton Panthers, up 29-0 here on this Father's Day afternoon.
Yeah, beautiful day for football on Father's Day, so a big happy Father's Day to all the dads.
Hamilton going to run the ball here over that left side. There is a hole. Oh, and some nice running there from the Panthers, breaking a tackle, and a first down there for the Panthers. Looks like they're probably just going to look to get this clock to run out and escape this first half, trailing 29-0.
Cougars just need to make sure they do stay, maintain their discipline as well, and not give up another big hitter here.
Yeah, I'm sure the DB's probably playing off a little bit. Don't want to give up a big play. 5 wide receiver set here for Hamilton. They're going to try the run up the middle. And they're going to say one more play here before the end of the half.
So they're setting it up for one final play before we wrap things up on this first half, which has just been picture perfect so far for Chatham.
No doubt the Cougars, you likely couldn't have scripted it any better, leading 29-0.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, ice cream, and drinks over by the food booth. Of course, you can always get your very stylish Cougar wear. And DVDs are available for sale from the June 5th game. Thank you very much.
So the final play here of this first half, they're going to run that up the middle and shoe in there to meet the running back. And that's it for this first half. So the Cougars, an outstanding performance. Again, as we mentioned, coming off that tough loss in Burlington last weekend. As we mentioned in the outset, Burlington, one of the top teams in the league, if not the top team. They lost in Burlington 34-0, much the same fate that other teams have had up there as well, including Hamilton. Nobody has scored in Burlington so far. The Cougars come back today in a nice bounce-back game so far, up 29-0 here at the end of the first half.
And excellent balance on how they're scoring as well. So it's not like it's just all on offense or all on defense that's making the difference. It's every facet of the team is contributing.
So when we come back here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex, the Cougars up 29-0 over the Hamilton Panthers here in OFC football action. Welcome back to the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex for second half action. The Chatham-Kent Cougars hosting the Hamilton Panthers. The Cougars with a big lead, an outstanding first half. They lead 29-0. I'm Mike James, again bringing you a play-by-play color. Dave Palmer in the booth with me as well. And Dave, as I mentioned, an outstanding first half for the Cougars, a huge lead here to start the second half of football.
Thank you for the opportunity, first of all, to come in this week as well with Mike being away. Really enjoying it. This is the first time I've had an opportunity to come out and see the Cougars, and really impressed. Obviously, they're having a fantastic game today, but just in general, great facility here to watch a game, to be a part of as well. Fantastic crowd out here for Father's Day too. So, so far so good. Everybody's having a great time.
Yeah, the Hamilton fans maybe not as good a time, but again, whenever you have a game like this, you don't want to take your foot off the gas.
Absolutely.
You don't want to give the other team any confidence, especially the first couple possessions here of the second half will be key for the Cougars and Hamilton as well to see how the second half plays out.
Clearly up 29-0 after the first half. The Cougars are flying high, but you know that Hamilton is no slouch coming in here at 2-1 today. They're going to make some adjustments and see what they can go to in the second half.
So the Cougars, they deferred in the first half and they kicked off to Hamilton. So here in the second half, of course, the Cougars will start with the football. And right now it looks like the wind is at the back of Hamilton. They're going to kick off here. And they're going to try a short kick. And it nearly pays off for them. It was bobbled, but recovered. And good job there for the Cougars. That was
12.
Curtis LeBute.
Curtis LeBute picking up that one and making the recovery on the attempted short kick. So there you go, right out of the gate. Hamilton obviously knowing that they need to put up some points on the board, trying to get the ball. Yeah,
great job there by Curtis LeBute. Couldn't hold on to it right away, but managed to dive on it, and the Cougars maintain possession, so it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 50-yard line. And there's a scenario where Hamilton knows they need to get as many possessions as they can here in the second half to try and make up this 29-0 deficit. Doesn't work to their favor that time, and some good field position here for Chatham-Kent. So Zach Welton's going to roll out to his right, looking for a receiver downfield, and that ball incomplete.
Boy, that almost could have been interference on that one, as number 7 of Hamilton coming down, Derek Adams, with a shove in the back.
Yeah, on Cody St. Pierre, the intended receiver there, as you mentioned, it looked like that contact coming maybe a little bit early. Cody St. Pierre getting up and asking for a flag, but doesn't get it. But now we hear there is a flag on the play, and it is offside against Chatham-Kent. So a replay first down here. Oh, my apologies. The Panthers aren't going to assess the penalty, so it'll be 2nd and 10 here for the Cougars.
Which is interesting. You'd think they would have to try and push them back a little bit further to get some advantage in field position.
So instead, the Panthers elect to decline the penalty, and so the Cougars, 2nd and 10 here, again from their own 50. Zach Welton under center, Chris Farrell in the backfield, and they're going to fake the handoff. Welton's going to roll out to his left. We have another flag on the play, going deep for his receiver, and that ball is caught. That's a beautiful throw and catch. We're going to wait and see what the flag is. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a hold against the Cougars, because it's in the backfield of Chatham, and it is. That's unfortunate. That negates a beautiful throw and catch there.
Hamilton was able to get a great push up onto that left side, and the Cougars just not able to hold them off long enough without having to go ahead and take that holding penalty to protect the quarterback.
So that's unfortunate. That negates a big gainer there for Chatham-Kent.
So a bit undisciplined to start the second half with back-to-back penalties being assessed so far on the Chatham-Kent Cougars. So certainly be looking to make up a little bit of ground here on 2nd down.
So 2nd and 20 now. The Cougars push back to their own 40-yard line. Going to be looking for a big play here. We got 3 wide outs. They're going to roll out to the right side. Welton looking for a receiver. He's going deep for Josh Woodman, and that ball is picked off. And Hamilton looking to return this one into Cougar territory. Still on his feet. The DB finally brought down Tyler Garland. And Tyler Garland did a great job there. Went up, got the ball at its highest point. Josh Woodman tried to meet him up there, but just couldn't. Garland.
That was a slow developing play to begin with as well, with the rollout, and it just seemed to take forever. And Woodman was open for a while coming down the side, but then by the time the pass got up in the air, there was just a great play by Hamilton's defensive back.
There was a bit of a push-off there from Woodman, and was almost looking to see if there was going to be a flag, but Garland makes a beautiful play, gets the ball at its highest point, and Woodman just couldn't strip it away from him. So 1st and 10 here after the turnover for Hamilton, starting at their own 47-yard line. Wall's in the shotgun formation. He's going to hand it off. They're going to try to run it inside. So far, there hasn't been much success, and that continues here on this first play. The Cougars' defensive line and that linebacker core doing a great job, not allowing any real penetration from those running backs, and
not allowing them to get those 3, 4 and even larger rips on 1st down that allow you a lot more options when it's 2nd and short.
Yeah, really forcing Hamilton to go to the air.
So far that's worked well for the Chatham-Kent Cougars, looking obviously to continue that in the 2nd half, and clearly looking for the defense to step up here and hold them back.
So again, here we see a 6-receiver set for Hamilton, 2nd and 8. Wall drops back in the shotgun. He's got some pressure in the face. He's going to look to run. This is the first time we've seen him scramble. We know he's got the ability, and he picks up a 1st down and more, a gain of about 12 yards there on that scramble.
Really surprised we didn't see more of that in the 1st half, given how well Chatham was playing on defense and how quickly that they were getting up to the line. You'd think you would have seen a few more design plays that way, quarterback rollouts, even bootlegs, that sort of thing.
Wall's certainly keeping the Cougars defense on its toes there. Picks up the 1st down, brings up a 1st and 10 now from the Cougars side of the field. They're on the Cougars 48-yard line. Wall in the shotgun position again. 4 wide out set this time. He looks for his tight end, and he's got him right over the middle. That's another 1st down.
Going back to the passing plays that made them successful in the 1st half, being able to find those seams and being able to take advantage of that on Chatham's defense.
Sorry, that was actually the slot back with that reception there. That was Davis Winch getting that pass over the middle. A nice pass and catch there from Wall. So a 1st and 10 here for Hamilton, moving the ball on offense from the Cougars 35-yard line now. 11:01 to go and counting here in the 3rd quarter. The Cougars lead 29-0. Wall under center this time. He's going to fake the handoff. He's got some pressure in his face. He gets that one off. And that one caught by number 23, Peter Preston, the fullback.
Good job of coverage. They were able to swarm him after the initial hit as well to be able to hold this down to not a huge gain.
So not a bad gain on 1st down, a gain of about 5 yards. So brings up 2nd and 5 here for Hamilton. And the Cougars here, certainly their defense going to be on its toes a little bit, with Hamilton gaining some confidence here, moving the ball down the field. Wall's going to go from the shotgun formation this time. 5 wide out set. He's looking over the middle, and he has a receiver again. This one, Davis Winch with the reception. Just 5'7", 165 pounds, but certainly effective at that slot back position.
A little guy is able to hide a little bit in there as well too, right? Maybe get lost in the crowd to a degree, but he's able to come up with it, and another great catch. Makes
you wonder where this was in the 1st half. Hamilton finally able to move the ball here. 1st and 10 now from what looks to be about the Cougars' 15-yard line. Hamilton looking for their 1st score of the game. Ball from the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to the running back. Good job there from the defense with the tackle that time. That was Larry Vandenberg.
Not a bad little game, though, coming up the middle as we head now into only 9 minutes to go, though. So while Hamilton is driving, they're also eating a little bit of time off of the clock right now.
That was Max Sutton with the carry, gaining 4 yards. So a 2nd and 6 here for Hamilton. Again, as I mentioned, looking for their first points of the game, 29-0 right now here. The Cougars lead at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. You're watching OFC football on TV Cogeco. So Wall under center this time. Back in the backfield, he's going to fake the handoff. He's looking to his left, looking for a receiver. Nobody there. He's got some pressure in his face, and Wall shows that ability to run, evading a couple of would-be tacklers. Oh, he fumbles the ball, but it goes out of bounds. Look to go out of bounds at about the 17-yard line, so that's going to be loss on that down.
Out of bounds, obviously, before anyone could recover it. But yeah, man, that ability to be able to make tacklers miss. It looked like a Keystone Cops there for a couple of seconds as he was able to dance around a couple of different people.
We got a flag on the field here. Wait to see what the referees say, but if that play stands where it was, that fumble going out of bounds, that was a loss of 6 yards and would bring up a 2nd and 11.
You always wonder on broken plays like that, too. Are you looking at a block in the back, that sort of thing as well?
The referees,
like the conference going on here.
The referee's still huddling, now calling the captains over to decide what to do here on the penalty. That's number 55, Jamie Lalonde for Hamilton, and number 12, Curtis LeBute for the Cougars, talking to the referees, trying to figure out what they want to do here in terms of assessing the penalty.
Yeah, because they haven't even made the call yet.
No, we'll get the call here from the referee. The Cougars are backing up into their own end zone, so a player from the Cougars,
Larry Vandenberg, getting called.
Did they say a disqualification?
It looks that way, Mike. I think he may have made the sign for that.
So Larry Vandenberg has been tossed from this game.
Not exactly sure if it was a clip or a block in the back.
Yeah,
we
certainly couldn't see it from where we were. It'll be interesting to hear what happened after this game. So Hamilton maintains possession, and they're in for the touchdown. So Hamilton takes advantage of that penalty. And that's 6 points on the board. And we've got a Hamilton player slow to get up there in the middle of that pack.
And a Cougars player as well.
Oh, yeah, we do have a Cougar down, you're right. So we'll see who's slow to get up there on the Cougar side of the field. But nonetheless, Hamilton here put 6 points on the board.
Certainly what they were looking to do, obviously, to get this second half rolling was to get the goose egg off and get some points up there as well. Now, that being said, that did take a lot of time off of the clock as well.
Yeah, you know that the Hamilton coaching staff was certainly saying to their team,
after the game, take the sheet to the referee's room first. He's got to write up the disqualification.
Fine, thank you.
So it is official that it was a disqualification.
yeah, we just got clarification there from the referee that there was a disqualification. Again, that was Larry Vandenberg. And the Chatham-Kent player that was down is now up and being helped off the field. And nice applause here from the crowd. And that looks to be number 29 for the Cougars.
David Miller.
So Miller makes his way off the field. And Hamilton now lining up to kick that extra point. It's a good snap. Kick is up. And they're going to say that that is good, it looks like.
Mm-hmm. 29-7 at this point now with 8:23 to go. Now the obvious, the momentum swings back the other way. Can Chatham respond? Can they at least move the ball and get a couple of first downs, take a little bit more time off of this clock as well? Of course, with each passing second, it becomes more difficult for Hamilton to be able to come back.
So the Cougars here looking to get fired up as they get set to go on offense. And of course, Hamilton, you got to keep your eye out. Look for that directional kick from Hamilton. They might be trying to place it in an open zone. Onside kick, perhaps. We'll see what they've got planned, but certainly Hamilton knows they've got to get as many possessions as they can here in the second half, trailing 29-7. If you can score 29 points in the first half, Hamilton's thinking to themselves, we can score at least 29 in the second. So
it's one of those things you have to tell your players, right, in the locker room. Although for Chatham, they scored in so many different ways as well, that clearly, like you said, Hamilton's got to be looking at getting as many possessions as possible. And it does look like they may at least be showing an attempt for an onside kick here.
And the other thing, too, is once the Cougars go on offense, you don't want to get so conservative that you're not effective. So they're going to kick that one away. They're going to kick it a little bit short. And that's Smith that has the ball. Breaks a couple tackles. He's looking to get outside and find a seam. Finally dragged down, but a nice job there from Graham Smith on the return. Gets that ball up to the 43-yard line. So some good field position for the Cougars here on offense with 8:15 to go here in the third quarter. Again, the Cougars leading 29-7.
Fantastic return after it looked like he was bottled up, probably about 10 or 15 yards prior to where he ended up. So certainly a good start for the Cougars. So let's see if they can keep that going. And again, it really comes down to, at this point, regaining, after Hamilton scoring, regaining a bit of confidence and moving forward, because they did have back-to-back penalty calls on that first possession.
Yeah, you'd like to see the Cougars gain some momentum here, gain some momentum back on offense, and that's a nice way to start it out. A nice run up the middle, a gain of about 8 yards on first down. Chris Verrill with that nice run, and Verrill has had a nice game so far for Chatham-Kent, running the ball up the middle.
And he has, as you said, had a fantastic game. So, don't get too far away from what's been working for you so far in an effort to try and get other players engaged.
So they're going to say that's a gain of 7. So that brings up a 2nd and 3. You wonder if you might see this quick pass to the receiver right down the line of scrimmage, which has worked well for them. But nope, they'll fake the toss to the left. They'll take it, run it to the right. And that's going to be close to the marker there that time. That was Mitch Raitt with the carry. He's going to be close to a first down. We'll see where they mark it here on his forward progress.
Exactly. It'll all be depending upon where they put the ball down, and they're giving him the first down.
There it is. Referees give the first down, so Mitch Raitt picks up 3 yards and a couple of inches.
Good spot, I think, too, helped him out a bit as well, and he was all effort on both sides, but clearly Chatham able to push it forward for the first down.
And that's what you want to see from the Cougars offense. Gain a little bit of momentum here. You don't want to see a 2 and out. They avoid that there. They keep the clock running. 6:50 and counting here to go in the third quarter. Walton takes the hand off and a quick toss out to the receiver. Oh, they're going to call that a block in the back by the other receiver on that far side. It was a wide receiver screen. He finally runs out of bounds, but they're going to call that a block in the back. That was a close one. That was a tough one because it almost looked like the receiver got the DB's shoulders on that one. I don't know if that was exactly a block in the back, although that is on the other side of the field, so maybe I'm not seeing it as clearly as maybe the referee was, who's standing right there.
We could be on the wrong angle and whatnot because we are on the far side of the field from where this occurred, so giving the ref the benefit of the doubt on that one, although it was pretty close, I thought, as well, and what was actually a good call and a great play.
Yeah, nice job there from the Cougars on execution on offense. Unfortunately, the penalty flag comes out, and that's going to hurt them a little bit. Just a bit of a quick hitter on that far side, the throw to the wide receiver, and then you just get your other receiver on that far side to make at least one block and spring your man for a nice run, and it worked, except the referees say that was a block in the back. As I mentioned, it was close. You've got to at least get the front side of that shoulder to not get that block in the back call. Tough one there for the Cougars. Nonetheless, it's going to be 1st and 20 now. They're moved all the way back to their 44-yard line.
And that's the third penalty on offense, Mike, in the second half that they've taken so far.
So the Cougars going to need a big play here, at least 1 or 2. That's a nice run over that right side. A good job there by Blaine Bayshard. Just when it looked like he was bottled up, he turned that thing north and south.
And tiptoed up the sidelines as well, showing a little bit of skill.
Yeah, Blaine Bayshard showing he's just not about power, showed some athleticism getting down that sideline, and
11
picks up
yard
a
run.
nice chunk of yardage there. So that brings up a second and certainly a more manageable, about 8 yards to go here.
Gives you a few more options as well to be able to, potentially even keep the running game as an option too.
Zach Welton sees something that he doesn't like, calls a timeout. Quarterback for the Cougars, so 5:56 to go in the third quarter. 29-7 here, Chatham-Kent. Again, we're at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. You're watching OFC football here on TV Coach Go, the Chatham-Kent Cougars, hosting the Hamilton Panthers. Hamilton coming in with a 2-1 record. The Cougars 1-2. They've both beaten the same team, and they've both fallen to a same team as well. They both fell to Burlington, and they both defeated the London squad, Twin Cities.
Now, you'd mentioned earlier that we're anticipating potentially Ryan Brook getting some reps at quarterback. They've also got a couple of new players, Nick Duquette and also Josh Pryor, whose nickname is Cheeseburger.
Yeah, we understand Nick works at McDonald's, and not sure if that's where he got the nickname.
May have originated there.
Or perhaps that he's got some size to him.
Well, I mean, he's a pretty big guy as well at 220. So, I mean, these guys may get some opportunity as well. They recently joined the team as linemen as well. So, as this game progresses, if the score holds, that's where I think you may see some of these guys get some game time experience.
And as we mentioned, Ryan Brook, the backup quarterback, they were hoping to get him a couple series in this game as well. But Zach Welton remains in at quarterback. 2nd and 8 here for the Cougars. Draw back, they're gonna fake the handoff. Welton looking over the middle. He does have a receiver there, but he also had 3 defenders, and that pass is picked off.
From behind on Blaine.
Oh, the tackle finally made. That's a big hit by the quarterback who threw the pick, Zach Welton, but nonetheless, that's an interception thrown by Zach Welton, and that's not what you want to see from your quarterback. Triple coverage there in the middle of the field.
Ill-advised pass.
Threw it into a crowd.
And it hung up on top of it as well. So it's one thing to throw when there's, guys around if you've got confidence in your arm and the receiver's there, but the ball hung up a bit at the same time too, and into triple coverage is certainly the last thing the Cougars wanted, was to turn the ball over here and give the Panthers more momentum.
Yep, so Hamilton, good field position here. 1st and 10 from the Cougars' 53-yard line. They're going 5 wide here, Hamilton is. One man in the backfield. Wall takes it from the shotgun, dropping back. He's going to swing it out to his fullback on that right side. Oh, a nice job there from Graham Smith coming up to make the tackle. So it's little to no gain there on that run.
Great coverage on that as well. And interesting that, they flare everybody out, right, and try and get everybody to run with them too, and try and go for that little drop-off pass on the backside, but really no blocking. So you're really looking for your running back to really make a few people miss, and in this case, he didn't.
Yeah, Peter Preston, the fullback, not really built like a man made to make people miss. He comes in at 6 feet, 224 pounds.
Pure power football.
Yeah,
there.
he's just looking to run somebody over, and Graham Smith mans up and makes the tackle there, and it was a loss of 2 yards. So they go to the shotgun again. Wall looking to pass downfield. A bit of a pump fake there. He does find a man over that right side, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Again, that's Davis Winch with the catch, and he gets a couple extra yards after the catch as well. So Winch showing that he can make some people miss.
5'7", 165 pounds, and again, is he getting lost in the crowd a little bit? And the opportunities are there for Hamilton to make those plays, and they're doing it.
So Hamilton's starting to click on offense here in the second half after the interception by the defense of Hamilton.
This is a big series for the Cougars, obviously, as well, because if Hamilton comes in and scores here, you've whittled it down to half in the first quarter of the second half.
So Chuck Wall, shotgun formation in. He fakes the handoff up the middle, rolls out to his right. He's got a pass away, and it looks like it's incomplete. That ball came out. See what the referees say.
You would certainly think it would be called incomplete as well, because he never had possession of that one.
Looks like, are they going to give him any yards on that one? Nope, I think you're right. I think they are calling that incomplete. So I'm not sure if they were going to say that he had maintained possession, then once out of bounds, then had the ball knocked out. But no,
I don't think he had it long enough really to established possession.
So 2nd and 10 here for Hamilton. And a big play here for the Cougars defense. Try and get off the field. Ball's going to go under center, one man behind him. He's going to fake the handoff, and he's going to roll out to his left. Oh, and that's nearly picked off, excuse me. Wow. That was Curtis Lebeau who had a chance to grab that ball. Instead, it just squeezes through his hands and into the hands of the receiver.
Boy, that's one of those, I mean, you're a former defensive back, Mike. That's one of those, do you go for the knockdown or do you go for the pick?
Yeah, and, you know, it looked like he was in a position there where maybe, you know, you just want to knock that down with your hand coming over the top, but just missed it, and that turns into a first down for Hamilton. So the Panthers here moving the ball in the second half. They've already had a drive for a touchdown. This is their second drive, and they're able to move the ball here. They fake the handoff. Quarterback still has the ball. Wall passes it out. It is caught. They're going to say he's not down. Oh. Not sure why the whistle didn't blow.
Not sure if he was touched or not as well. I didn't see that again on the far side of the field, whether or not he was touched down, because otherwise he could have gotten up and kept on going if the defender went over the top and didn't touch him.
So it looks like they're going to say he was down right there.
Down by contact.
A gain of a yard. So that brings up 2nd and 10. From they look to be about the 24-yard line right now, Hamilton does, of the Cougars. They're going to go from the shotgun here. While dropping back, looking at that left side, a bit of a pump fake, and he's going deep. He's got a receiver there, and it's just off target. That pass intended for Nathan Brown.
He had him open, too, in the end zone as well, and Chatham's defensive back was just trailing a bit. The opportunity was there for Hamilton, just not the follow-through.
Yep, so the pass a little bit errant, a little too far inside, and so you wonder here if Hamilton's going to go for it, or are they going to kick a field goal?
I think they need 7 and not 3 at this point, right? Because they need several scores to be able to get back at least into contention.
Sure, and looks like the coaching staff of Hamilton feels the same way. So Wall's going to go from the shotgun again. One man in the backfield. He's looking down the middle, and he's going to go deep again. Same man, same play. Oh, and it hits the crossbar.
Saved by the goalpost.
It looked like the coverage was pretty good there. Tristan Robinette and I believe it was Josh Wright, both in the vicinity. Would have been a close play, that's for sure, but nonetheless, that one falls incomplete, and the Cougars take over on downs. The defense stands.
Looks like they had the exact same play pretty much on the go there as well, and he had him open there for a moment too before it hit the goalpost as well. So certainly a big stand for Chatham to be able to come up and stop them there, because the momentum clearly on Hamilton's side. Chatham, though, their old nemesis, making mistakes on their own part, coming back to haunt them.
Now it looks like they made a quarterback change here for the Cougars, and they're going to hand it off. That was a bit of a broken play, it looked like. Ryan Brook is in at quarterback, and we got a flag now. Maybe some excessive celebration afterwards, not sure.
Could be a little bit of chirping going on down there as well. I think Hamilton's starting to feel a bit of momentum on both sides of the ball, but if you let your mouth run and the ref's there, you're going to get caught.
That was a bit of an end around there. Lee Purnell with the carry, the tight end, big number 89.
Hamilton was able to get great penetration, though, right up the middle to be able to bust that play.
And it looked like Ryan Brook, when he was handing the ball off, there we go, unnecessary roughness called against Hayden Toole for Hamilton. So that's a 15-yard penalty. That's a huge penalty against Hamilton here.
That's a tough bill after you've just made a great play defensively with a stop in the backfield.
But as I mentioned, during that handoff, Ryan Brook looked like his shoulder clipped the tight end shoulder, Lee Purnell, and slowed his momentum down.
It just wasn't clean right from the start.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. The last home game, we actually saw a bit of that as well. Ryan Brook, and it's tough when you're a backup. You come in, and as an offense, you certainly have some rhythm with your starting quarterback. So it is always going to be a bit of adjustment. They're going to try a toss sweep play here out to the right side. Good play there by the Hamilton defense, stretching that one out. That carry from Hilton Clooney, the wide receiver, number 74. Looked like the Cougars just trying to get Clooney out in space and let him use his athleticism to get around that corner. But good play there by the Hamilton defense. So last play of the third quarter coming up here. The Cougars lead 29-7.
2nd and 10 on this play as well.
Yeah, it looked like they're going to say it was a minimal gain there on that carry from Clooney. So we'll see if they let Ryan Brook air it out. And they will. They'll let him throw the ball. And he's got a lot of pressure coming right up the middle. And he's sacked for a loss. Not a lot of help there for the Cougars quarterback. He's sacked for a huge loss. Looks like a loss of about 10 yards.
Well, coming into this game, Coach Jordan had said that Hamilton quite often will blitz 2 defenders almost on every play. So I'm not sure if that was the case there, that they ran that blitz up the middle and someone came free, and someone certainly did.
Yeah, Ryan Brook, not a lot of time there to set his feet and look for an open receiver.
He had no opportunity. I mean, it's one of those plays where you just ask your quarterback to take the loss, let's punt and survive for another series.
And that's exactly what's going to happen here. The Cougars now changing ends, of course, to start this fourth quarter, up 29-7, looking to even the record at 2-2. Their other win coming at home, of course, as well. So they're looking to stay undefeated here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex.
And a great turnout for the game this afternoon, too. Good to see that the community is supporting the team. It's a good brand of fun football.
Oh yeah, no doubt. A lot of skill here, and these are the players that you're seeing, as we're mentioning, going on to university, playing football at the next level, and then maybe even after that, whether it be CFL, NFL, whatever it may be.
Building blocks start here.
So the Cougars looking to punt. Clark Green puts the boot to it. Gets a nice bounce and a one hopper, and Hamilton looking to return this one, get some good field position. That's good coverage there. Josh Schuen with a nice hit. So Hamilton going to start with the ball in Cougars territory at the 52-yard line.
Josh Schuen just seems to come out of nowhere on so many of these different plays, whether he's playing defense or here on kick coverage as well. And he seems to be one of these guys that knows how to stick a tackle as well. Great wrap up and just throws the guy down to the ground.
So the Cougars defense going to be looking to come up with a big stop here, 29-7. Of course, Hamilton has come on here in the second half. They've got a touchdown, their first score of the game, and they've been able to move the ball on offense here in the second half.
But once again, Mike, going back to what we had commented on earlier, little surprised, though, that they haven't had Chuck Wall do a few more running plays on his own, whether that's naked bootlegs to the outside to try and spring one of these receivers on one of these 4 and 5 receiver sets.
Yeah, right. He's shown that he has that ability. As we mentioned, he is the leading rusher for Hamilton, but we've only seen him run the ball once, twice at the most.
One time, and it was effective.
So Wall's going to take it from the shotgun. He's going to hand it off to the running back. Nice job there from the linebackers filling that hole. That's Brendan Thompson coming up with the stick. Maybe made it back to the line of scrimmage, the running back. That was Max Sutton with the carry. Minimal gain there, not even a yard. So a nice job by Brendan Thompson with the stop.
Good size linebacker, too, 6'2", 235. So great, force coming up the middle for Chatham.
So Hamilton coming up to the line now. 5 receiver set they've got, 3 to the right, 2 to the left. Wall takes it from the shotgun. He's looking over that right side. Oh, and the ball knocked loose. No whistle. They're going to say that's a completed pass and a fumble. Looking to run that in, and that is a score.
Curtis Lemieux.
Lemieux benefiting from that one, and to be honest, I didn't think the receiver had it long enough to be considered a reception. That looked like it was an incomplete pass all the way, but no whistle blown, and Lemieux does a nice job playing right through until he hears the whistle.
And no challenges, obviously, at this level either, so... I mean, that one can't be reviewed or anything like that, but you're right, Mike. I thought the same thing as you did as well, that he didn't really turn and make a football play, right? Where he kind of made a, didn't turn and make a football move. But it was called. Oh, and we do have a flag down now on this play as well. So not sure if we're looking at excessive celebration or what the case may be.
Yeah, not sure what it is, but if I'm a member of the Hamilton coaching staff or some of the fans in the crowd, I certainly am not happy with that call. Not to take anything away from the play by the Butte or the defenders, but the receiver there did not have the ball for very long at all before it was knocked down out of his hands.
I don't think possession had really been made to where he had it, long enough that he would have turned and then the ball was stripped out. It was such a bang play that I don't think he really had it long enough, in my opinion.
But nonetheless, Curtis LeBute, the beneficiary there, picks it up
and took off. Great run.
But a 55-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Didn't have his helmet on.
Yeah, if you're not wearing,
So the Cougars defense comes up big again, puts another score on the board, and pretty much all but puts this one away now at 35-7, looking to add a single here, the extra point. And we've got a flag before we kick this extra point.
I believe it was a call on Hamilton. So it looks like it'll be something that'll be assessed on the kickoff.
Okay, so Clark Green getting set to put the extra point on the board. Cody St. Pierre to hold the snap. It's a good snap and hold, and it's up, and it's good.
Should make it 36-7.
Oh, 36-7. The Cougars obviously like playing on home field.
Yeah, no kidding. Home cooking obviously must be good for Chatham, or something's going on here. Maybe it's the water.
Yeah, the last time, as we mentioned, the Cougars only played one home game previous to this one, and that was 2 weeks ago when they faced the Forest City Thunderbirds. That was a 30-9 victory.
You know what they need to do, Mike? Maybe take some of the field and spread it out no matter where they're playing, much like Nathan Horton did before Game 7, Boston-Vancouver. He took water from Boston and sprinkled it on the ice in Vancouver before the game.
And I'm sure you're only mentioning that because you're a Bruins fan.
I'm not only mentioning it because of that, but in addition to.
Okay, then. So the Cougars with a 36-7 lead, 12:59 to go here in the fourth quarter. And again, the Cougars have scored in many different facets here on offense, defense, and special teams, all three phases of this game. And
well, there's
that's
another
really
defensive score too, right?
That's right.
As well.
Two of them now in this game. So as a coaching staff, you've got to be pretty happy with this performance so far.
Well, everybody's contributing, and that's, like we said earlier, it's not a case of just relying on the offense to do, the bulk of the work. But when you've got it firing on all cylinders like the Cougars do today, it's pretty hard to stop.
So a bit of a delay here. We've had a couple of these. Looks like the referee's just getting things sorted out because there was a penalty just before the extra point was kicked, so they're assessing it here on the kickoff.
And of course, let's not forget too that it wasn't the greatest start to the second half for Chatham, with an ejection, several penalties all in a row as well, and Hamilton seemed to have some momentum going on their side because they were moving the ball and obviously had scored as well fairly quickly.
Yeah, they did. Hamilton, they were gaining some momentum for sure here in the second half on offense, but that turnover right there that we just saw, Curtis LeBute picking up that fumble, running it in for the touchdown, you got to think that's probably going to take some wind out of the sails of Hamilton here in the second half and any success they've had.
Well, and even more so now, you're looking for a lot of passing plays. I would think now they've got to get some huge chunks of yardage.
So Clark Green kicking this one off from the 50-yard line of Hamilton, and that's going to earn them a single point. So you can put another one on the board for the Cougars. That penalty obviously playing a factor there. So they get to kick the ball off from the Hamilton side of the field, and Clark Green does a good job of putting the boot to it, kicking it out of the end zone, and giving the Cougars a single point.
So we'll see what Hamilton can do on this possession. But again, I mean, they're going to have to go to the passing game. They're going to have to get major chunks of offense with just under 13 minutes, 12:59 to go in the fourth quarter.
It's really been difficult here for Hamilton, hasn't it? Not able to run the ball very much. They've been forced to go to the air.
And Chatham has done a great job of combating that as well. Their defensive backs have stayed disciplined, especially with this spread offense that Hamilton runs.
So 1st and 10, ball still in, quarterback out of the shotgun there. He's looking for a receiver. He's got a man over the middle. That's a nice passing catch. That one by Davis Winch again from that slot back position.
He's been a bright star for them this entire game, and especially the second half.
Good tackle there by Evan Vaughn to make the stop, but it's enough for a first down. So 1st and 10 now, Hamilton from their own 47-yard line. 12 minutes and 10 seconds and counting to go here in the 4th quarter. The Cougars lead 37-7. All from the shotgun, dropping back, looking over that left side, now comes back to the right, finds his receiver again. A nice move by Winch. Finally dragged down, and that's going to be enough for a first down. A gain of 12 there on first down. Davis Winch showing he's a threat here for Hamilton.
And quite easily a first down, but then he made that play where he tried to extend the ball, and just lucky that he didn't have a Cougars player try and swat that out of his hand.
Davis Winch by far and away the leading receiver here for this Hamilton team so far this afternoon. So 1st and 10 now. The Hamilton Panthers with the ball on the Cougars 50-yard line. Ball from the shotgun. 5 receivers set. He's looking over that left side. He's going to air it out. We've got a defender over there. Oh, wow, what a perfect pass and catch. That is a great play there from Hamilton. It was pretty good coverage over there. Tristan Robinette running stride for stride. And then just at the last second, it looked like Nathan Brown just got about a half a step, and that ball was placed perfectly. We do have a Hamilton player down here at about the 50-yard line, the original line of scrimmage.
That was a great pass. It just dropped right into his hands as well, as he just turned and looked at the last moment to be able to pick that one up. And a great pass and run with 10 minutes and 56 seconds to go here.
Just looking to get a number on that player that's down. And it looks like that is number 23 for Hamilton, Peter Preston, the fullback, who's had a pretty decent game himself for the Panthers. The trainer's over there tending to him. The coach coming out to check on his player as well, and nice to see Preston sit up. Looks like he's going to try to get up now. Maybe it looks like a lower leg injury there.
Turned ankle or something along those lines as well.
Some applause from the crowd, which is always nice to see.
It is.
When the player gets up.
Exactly. You never want to see anyone get hurt at any point as well. Out here to see some good, tough football, but the last thing you want to see is somebody sustain any sort of injury.
So after that big play, that was a gain of 35 yards there. And Hamilton now will have the ball 1st and 10 from the Cougars' 15-yard line. We got a 5 receiver set again, 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Wall drops back, looking over the middle, double clutches, then he's going to tuck and run. Showing some of that elusiveness there. The Cougars finally bring him down. Looked like they were trying to strip that ball. Graham Smith perhaps on that far side. So Wall does a nice job, decides there's nothing there for him with the pass, so he uses his feet and picks up a nice chunk of yardage, a gain of about 7 yards on that first down play.
And keeps the forward momentum obviously going as well. Hamilton trying to answer back after that turnover on the defensive side for the Chatham-Kent Cougars that resulted in the last score.
Looks like we've got a timeout here now. Some water coming out onto the field.
And Chatham also making a substitution as well.
So a well-played game, a different story from what we saw here the last time we were at the athletic complex in Chatham-Kent. Penalty-filled game it was. It was a big victory for the Cougars, but as we mentioned, we'd seen at least 35 penalties in that game. Today, they've been fairly minimal, I'd say, less than 10.
And evenly called as well on both sides too. So you know the refs doing a good job of maintaining control in this one. An ejection earlier, as we had mentioned as well. So certainly they're not putting up with a whole lot either.
Yeah, Larry Vandenberg, number 9 for the Cougars, was tossed. We haven't heard any explanation on that one yet. We didn't see exactly what had happened during the play that caused the ejection, but we'll certainly catch up with the staff after this game and figure out exactly what happened. So now we got a flag just before the snap.
So just as we say it hadn't been a penalty-filled game.
Of course.
Out comes the flag.
Looks like they're moving back 5 here.
Someone
Against
jumped or an
Hamilton.
illegal formation or something along those lines, I think. Waited too long.
Too much time to get that play off, so that'll move Hamilton back. That makes it 2nd and 8 now for Hamilton. Wall back in the shotgun formation on this one. Again with that 5 receiver set, he's looking over to his left, now the middle, turns back to the right. He does have a receiver there. Oh, and a nice play. That's a great job from the Cougars. That's what you like to see from your DB and your linebacker. Josh Shewan with a huge hit to knock that ball free. Graham Smith also there on the hit. Shewan might be shaken up a little bit, I think, on that one.
Meeting together at the same time as well, and then just ripping that ball away at the same time after that huge hit.
Shewan might have a bit of a stinger after that hit.
Did the ball come out?
He's up and heading off, so he's looks to be okay. And again, nice round of applause from the appreciative crowd here in Chatham.
Wow, Shewan made his presence known on that one.
He's had a heck of a game too, Mike.
Yep, a couple
great
big hits. Yep, certainly has Shewan a nice game. Again, we'll see if he comes back into this one. It looked like he's swinging his arm there, maybe just a bit of a stinger after that contact. But certainly make that receiver think twice next time he tries to go over the middle.
And you know that they're going to go for it, obviously, here. Need a whole lot of points and not a lot of time.
They're going to call it a 3rd and 1 here. They're going to try that pitch out to the right side. Oh, a good job there by the defense. Well done. That's a great job by the Cougars defense getting up, making the tackle. Well, they're going to say it is enough for the first down, though, for Hamilton.
His forward momentum and progress, I think, just got him over.
That was a good job by the Cougars defense, stringing that one out and then coming up to make the tackle.
And almost just allowing the easy touchdown either, as the clock keeps running too.
Almost looked like maybe a bit of a block in the back there against one of the Cougar defenders, but no call. So it'll be 1st and goal from the, looks to be about the 2.5, 3 yard line of the Cougars. Hall's gonna go now under center, Wall under center. They're gonna try it up the middle. And he's in for the score.
So that makes it 37-13 with 8:52 to go here in the 4th quarter.
David Miller just couldn't keep Max Sutton out of the end zone there. They met around the goal line, and Sutton just getting the better of that battle, sneaking over that goal line. So their 2nd touchdown of the game here for Hamilton, but as you mentioned, 8:52 to go here in the 4th quarter. And the Cougars with a big lead, 37-13. Hamilton going to go for 2 on this one.
As you would expect, right? I mean, they need every point they can get.
So they're going to go shotgun formation on this one. He's looking over to the left side. He's got some pressure in his face now. He's going to try to scramble out. Looked like there was a bit of a hold, and that's going to get picked off now.
No, keep going, Matt.
Now they call that play dead, and now there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, flag down in the end zone as well.
We'll see what this is.
As you had pointed out, you thought there was a hold potentially on Hamilton too.
Yeah, it looked like while the quarterback Wall was under pressure, it looked like there was a hold against one of the linemen for the Cougars who was trying to gain pursuit. I thought the hold was going to be on the player on Jake Langstaff. It looked like Langstaff, 77, had some good penetration and looked like he got held a little bit.
Oh, illegal contact being called actually on Chatham, so they'll be able to go for 2 again.
Okay, so that's why we saw the flag in the end zone, illegal contact. So another chance here for Hamilton to put 2 points on the board.
So once again, we try and get this extra point or 2-point conversion in this case off and running.
So Wall's going to take it out of the shotgun formation. I wouldn't be surprised we see something where he rolls out of the pocket, but no, he doesn't. He stays in the pocket, throws that one out to the left side,
That was a
and
great
that's
catch.
completed. A nice throw and catch there, and they get the 2-point conversion.
And I mean, he threw it where the defensive back couldn't get it as well. And I mean, it was either going to be the receiver's play on the ball or it was going to go incomplete. So receiver actually made a great play on that ball.
Yeah, it was a nice location. Looked like just a timing pattern on that one. The quarterback just picks a spot, throws to it, and expects the receiver to get there, and that's exactly what happened. So nice pass and catch. The Cougars now lead 37-13. Oh, excuse me, 15 should be with that 2-point conversion. So 37-15 here, and Hamilton going to kick off to the Cougars. And again, we'll keep an eye on, see if we see an onside kick attempt or something just to gain another possession. Of course, Hamilton trailing a fair bit here in the fourth quarter.
You would expect that they would do that, but then that's maybe when they want to pull it out and kick it deep.
Yeah, maybe they'll try to place a kick here. We'll see what happens. And Sel Jordan on the field right now, just talking to the referees about one of the calls, perhaps.
Probably wondering about that illegal contact call in the end zone when it did look like one of the Cougars players had been held when they had some pressure on quarterback Chuck Wall.
Sel Jordan just getting an explanation from the referee.
Well, you see, we did, and then.
So it looks like, well, looks like the explanation is complete. And Hamilton will get set to kick off now. So now your up men for the Cougars are certainly going to be ready for any kind of an onside kick here because the ball has to go at least 10 yards before it can be recovered. So either what they'll try to do, maybe kick it and bank it off one of those up men up at the 55-yard line, or try and place it in a gap in that return team. Oh, and the ball falls off of the tee, so they'll reset that ball.
On top of the time at this point.
They'll reset the ball and then try to kick. But again, as I was mentioning, maybe they'll try to find a gap in that return team and try to kick to that gap and get a player to that spot. So they'll kick it short, but the Cougars won't have any problem returning it. Josh Wright's going to have it, and he's going to try to get around that left side. He's going to lose some yards on that return. But again, the Cougars, the key there is they maintain possession. So
8:45 to go in the fourth quarter of a game that the Cougars have pretty much dominated right from the start of this one, now up 37-15. And it was a combination of things as well for the Cougars that have worked so well, from offense to defense to special teams, returns as well. They've all played well as a unit today.
Certainly have. Big league here for Chatham-Kent, so I'm sure they're just looking to get this clock to wind down as fast as they can, but they're going to have to make some first downs to do that. We'll see what kind of approach they take, and it's Ryan Brook in again at quarterback, number 5.
Well, as I had said, prior to the game, Coach Jordan said he wanted to get him a few reps as well.
So this time he completes a pass out to his receiver. Looked like it was Josh Woodman on the catch there. Very minimal gain on that one, though. Looked like Hamilton was ready for that.
And certainly trying to get Josh Woodman a little bit more involved in this game as well, which has been dominated a bit more by the run for Chatham, obviously, today. That's been very successful for them.
So that brings up a 2nd and a long 9 here for Chatham-Kent from their own 30-yard line. They're going to want to give themselves some breathing room here. They're going to go there again and just swing it down the line of scrimmage again, but that one falls incomplete, out of the reach of the intended receiver, Kyle DeMars.
Not sure if that was a bad pass or if the wind caught it, because the wind just gusted right as he as he threw that pass as well. It came out kind of wobbly though, so I think maybe it just came out sort of funny.
So that pass falls incomplete. Not a lot of time, ticks off the clock there, 7:47. Clark Green comes on for the punt. Punting unit now on the field. And again, as we've mentioned, the wind swirling here, sometimes it's into the face of the kicker, sometimes it's at his back. Right now, it looks like he might have the wind at his back. Oh, and that punt is blocked. That's a big play for the Hamilton special teams unit. They're going to get the ball in beautiful field position. That's the second week in a row now. The Cougars have had a punt blocked, and I'm sure head coach Sel Jordan and the special teams coach Jeff Green not going to be happy about that one.
It was a big push right up the middle that Hamilton was able to get, and they almost got to one on the last kick as well, as they had a couple of guys get in there pretty quickly, but they were able to get it off okay. This time, not so much as well, as they got that big push.
So 1st and 10, Hamilton at the Cougars' 10-yard line. Hamilton looking to make this one interesting, 37-15, 7:07 to go and counting here in the fourth quarter. Coming off that big block punt right there.
And you get a score here in a 2-point conversion, you're only 2 touchdowns down.
So the Panthers dropping back, Wall looking for a receiver. Ooh, that one tipped, nowhere to be found was any receiver. The closest receiver was the Cougars linebacker, Brendan Thompson, who got a hand on it.
Good play to knock that down, as well as the Hamilton wide receiver kind of found that open spot again, which is something that's worked very well for them today as well. Just those quick hitters up the middle into the zone defense.
So a 2nd and 10 here from the 10-yard line of the Cougars. Wall's in that shotgun formation again. Looking to his left. Gonna air one out to the corner, and the receiver, that pass out of bounds, falls incomplete.
Very similar play, Mike, to what they did on the extra point as well. One of those timing curled type patterns as well, where he's throwing it and hoping the receiver can get to that spot, and in this case it didn't work.
So that'll bring up a 3rd and 10 here, and Hamilton going for it, trailing 37-15. 6:26 to go here in the fourth quarter. And the Cougars making a late substitution here. Wall from the shotgun again, looking to that left corner. He's got a receiver there. Oh, they're going to throw a flag on that. That looked like a really nice play by Tristan Robinet, and the referee decided he got there too early and threw the flag.
Looked like he came over the top and made contact with the ball long before he ever made contact with the receiver as well. Looked to be a great timing play that he got in there on defense, and they didn't see it that way, obviously.
And you could actually, from our side of the field, we're obviously on the opposite side of the field of the coaching staff for the Cougars, but you could hear the coaching staff of the Cougars yelling at Tristan to tell him that was a great play. Obviously, they didn't agree with the call from the referees, but nonetheless, it stands. So that's 1st and goal now from the half-yard line for Hamilton.
So the Hamilton team getting a little bit of assistance from the boys in the stripes to keep this drive going.
Expect maybe a run just up the middle here. They'll hand it off to the fullback. Nice job by the Cougars defense. We've got another flag. There's no sign on a touchdown, so it looks like the defense held them short.
I expect either someone jumped here on one of the lines, or perhaps an illegal formation. Didn't look like it though. That flag came out so quick, like he anticipated it.
Waiting for the call. Wow, that is huge against
call.
Hamilton. Unnecessary roughness called against Cooper Sklepowicz. So that's 15 yards. And 2nd and goal now from what was the 6-inch line is now the 15-yard and 6-inch line.
And more importantly, Mike, it means more time's going to click off that clock before they can potentially get into the end zone as well.
So Hamilton coming to the line now. Cougars defense looking for a big play here to stop this drive. Wall takes it from the shotgun, looking over that left side again. He's gonna have to scramble to his right. Got pressure up in his face. We've got a flag on the play. And you get the feeling this one's gonna be against Hamilton again.
You've got to think hold after Chatham had gotten such a push up the middle.
Yeah, it looked like one of the defensive linemen for the Cougars, maybe Jordan Deneau, was dragged down from behind, getting some pressure up the middle, forcing Wall out of the pocket, and the flag came out. So, as you mentioned, you would think this is against Hamilton, and it is. It's a holding call against Hamilton, and the Cougars are going to decline it.
Well, Jordan Deneau is certainly a big force, 6'2", 272. So even with all that size on the offensive line for Hamilton, they weren't able to contain him on that play and had to take a penalty because of it.
We had mentioned that 3 players from the Chatham-Kent Cougars had made the Ontario West team. Jordan Deneau at defensive tackle was one of them. We had mentioned Clark Green and also the defensive lineman Connor Martin, all 3 of them making that Ontario West team. Yeah, certainly congratulations to them. And again, they'll be playing for the Canada Cup in July, so we'll keep our eyes out for that and wish them well, certainly representing Ontario West. So big third down here for Hamilton. Wall taking it from the shotgun again. He's going to look to that left corner. He likes that side. He's got a receiver. They're going to call pass interference against the Cougars, even though the receiver ran into the defensive back. And Tristan Robinette is not happy. He is the defensive back. He has the right to that position.
He has the right to his ground.
Yeah, if the receiver runs into the defensive back, it is not a penalty.
The refs are conferencing about it, so don't know if they'll end up picking this one up or not. But
perhaps if one of the other referees saw that play, they would pick it up, because the defensive back there, Tristan Robinette, did absolutely nothing wrong. You are allowed to stand your ground. If the receiver runs into you and he falls, that is on him, not on the defensive player.
So there seems to be just some discussion here, once again, amongst the refs to decide about this one.
Now the referee's discussing it with the captains on the field.
And I believe they picked it up, Mike.
Yeah, it looks like they picked up the flag. So I think it looks like, yeah, and that's the right call. That is the right call, absolutely. The referees, somebody else with a different angle, realized and explained that it wasn't the defensive back's fault. The receiver ran right into him. He had nowhere to go with that.
And give the referees credit for that, you know? Like in days gone by, it was a case of once a penalty had been called, it was called. But now you see that more often at every level, it seems, in football too, where they will conference and you know, come up with the right decision. Yeah,
and that was a great job. You're right. We should credit the referees, because they certainly made the right call there. We could all see it from this vantage point, and credit where credit is due. The referees making the right call there for sure. So the Cougars get the ball back on downs. Missed opportunity for sure for Hamilton, having the ball at the 6-inch line and not getting in. Now the Cougars with the ball at their own 15. Well, they're going to throw the ball out to that right side, and that is with the reception, Cody St. Pierre on the pass from Ryan Brook.
And it was an undisciplined play on Hamilton as well. It was a major foul that pushed them back 15 yards when a touchdown and a 2-point conversion would have brought them to within 2 touchdowns down.
And you can see how penalties can just be such a huge factor in this game.
At any given point, right? I mean, there's a huge momentum switcher now down to just over 4 minutes to go, and Chatham with that huge lead of 37-15.
So a nice play there. The Cougars pick up 7 yards on first down. 2nd and 3 now. Again, Ryan Brook in at quarterback, replacing Zach Welton after a nice day at the office. He hands off to the running back. We've got a flag on the play. They try to run that up the middle. We'll see if maybe there's a hold there on one of the offensive linemen. Looked like it was going to be close to the first down from where the running back Chris Verrill ended up. And I think they're saying that they're signaling that the penalty is going to be against Hamilton.
Just makes you wonder, first of all, at this point, how frustrated Hamilton is going to start to get in these last couple of minutes, and how tired the boys are starting to get. It's a warm afternoon, and that's when you start to get some of maybe those reach-in type penalties.
My apologies. It looks like now unfortunately, I trusted a signal from one of the Cougars players who had signaled that it was going to be against the Hamilton Panthers. I should never do that.
It wasn't me. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. You know, pointing goes each way.
I figured maybe he had overheard the conversation between the referees. Apparently, that wasn't the case. So the penalty going against the Cougars makes it 2nd and 7 now from their own about 18-yard line. They're going to run it over that right side, and there's certainly some real estate over there. That looked to be enough for the first down.
Nice gain.
With the carry there, I believe that was Blaine Bayshard.
And a first down has been signaled. So the chains move and the clock keeps rolling as well.
Nice job there by Blaine Bayshard. A little misdirection there on the offense as well. Fake that run out to the left side. Blaine Bayshard then gets the ball, heads right, gets around the corner and uses that big body to gain those extra hard yards and enough for the first down. So 1st and 10 Cougars from their own 26-yard line. Again, Ryan Brook in at quarterback. They're going to try the run up the middle. Oh, we've got a fumble on the play. Oh, and Hamilton, they're going to say the Hamilton player is down just before the end zone. The tackle made by the quarterback, Ryan Brook.
Boy, that was a bizarre play. I don't know if it was muffed in the handoff or if it was just juggled and was ripped out of the running back's hands, because I didn't even see the ball hit the ground.
No, it was hard to see from this point if it was a handoff situation where they had trouble with the exchange. We did see that a couple weeks ago here in the home game where Ryan Brook had some troubles with the exchange to the running back. We even actually saw a case earlier in this game, Lee Purnell, and now we've got a flag being thrown, and we'll see what this one's about. And this penalty going against Hamilton.
And this is clearly for unsportsmanlike conduct, as you could hear one of the Hamilton players making some remarks towards the referee that weren't very flattering, that's for sure. And it's number 55, Jamie Lalonde, the offensive lineman that's gotten called, and another call, it looks like, coming in now too. Another flag just getting thrown.
If I'm not mistaken, Lalonde's going to get tossed from this game after his helmet toss from about midfield.
So just a meltdown on the part of the Hamilton player. Again, these are the undisciplined penalties on no matter either side that just shoot you in the foot and just drive their coaches crazy.
Well, Lalonde certainly berated the official on that one, requesting that the official look at him when he's talking to him. Certainly that's not his place.
In aggressive language, we shall say as well. So just one of those cases where the player just melted down, and his teammates weren't able to get in there fast enough to be able to get him away from the situation.
I'm actually surprised. It doesn't look like Lalonde's been tossed from this game, which is a surprise to me after hearing the comments made to the referee. Yeah. But regardless, Lalonde with the helmet toss gets,
but for the second time, Mike,
penalized.
An undisciplined penalty on the count of on the part of Hamilton pushes them back from like the 1-yard line all the way back.
So again, 37-15 here, 2:42 and counting to go in the fourth quarter. The Cougars lead. They look to have all but wrap this one up. 1st and 10 here from the 20-yard line for Hamilton. Ball from the shotgun, looking over that left side. He had a receiver there, right off the hands of his receiver, and it falls incomplete. A good pass there from Wall, but the receiver just couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, just couldn't squeeze it. It looked like it hit his chest pad before it actually he had a chance to get his hands on it.
So that pass was dropped, it looked like, by the tight end, Garrett McMullen. So 2nd and 10 for Hamilton from
2 1/4 to go here.
Cougars 20-yard line. While looking left side again, he loves that left corner. Oh, that's a beautiful catch and touchdown
Oh, he came down with it. I almost thought they were fighting for the ball there for a second.
Wow, that's a beautiful play there. Wall hooking up with his receiver. Looks like that was number 11, Nathan Brown, with the nice catch going up over Tristan Robinet. And Robinet nearly got a hand on that. When he had his hand up, just missed it.
And I think they both had their hands on it for a second as well before the Hamilton receiver came down with the ball.
So a nice catch from Nathan Brown, and Wall just loves to go to that left corner of the end zone.
It seems to be his favorite spot, and almost makes you wonder here on the 2-point conversion if they're not going to defend that side a little bit more.
So again, a 2-point conversion attempt here for Hamilton. Ball from the shotgun. Yeah, he's looking left side again. And he's going to come back to the middle of the field. Oh, and it's caught. Wow, what a juggling catch. This time made by Garrett McMullen. We saw him drop one 2 plays earlier. This time he holds on, and that's a 2-point conversion from Hamilton.
And brings them into 14-point deficit now.
37-23. This one's certainly not over.
Not with 2:19 to go. We've seen a lot of scoring happen in a very short period of time. So obviously they'll be looking to either pooch kick it here and try and recover, or an onside kick as well to try and get back into this one.
So the Cougars going to have to play this one right to the final seconds, leading 37-23 in this matchup with Hamilton. Again, the return men back. We got Graham Smith back there, Josh Wright,
Watch the outside, guys. Let's go.
and also looks like Cody St. Pierre is back there as well. And of course, the Cougars ready for a short kick here. All the Cougars players, I'm sure, told watch out for the onside kick, and there it is. It's a short kick, and it's taken by the up man, Blaine Bayshard. Nice job holding onto the ball, and good field position for the offense up to the 54-yard line. That's where the Cougars will start, 54-yard line, 2:16 to go.
You had to know they were going to go for the onside kick, down 2 scores. I mean, you got to get those possessions in. So now comes again back onto Chatham's offense, not to make a mistake, because they've had a bit of a mistake-filled second half here with penalties and turnovers as well. That last score coming off of a fumble.
So back in the game is starting quarterback Zach Walton after a few series from Ryan Brook. He's going to roll out to the right side looking for a receiver. Oh, and he throws a pick, exactly what you don't want to have happen. That's why you bring your starting quarterback back into the game. That ball picked off and headed for the end zone. And he's knocked out just shy of the end zone. That is number 7, Derek Adams, coming up with a huge play for Hamilton. And that's a tough pill to swallow for the Cougars. You bring Zach Welton in, your starting quarterback, after sitting for quite a while after they brought Ryan Brook in. But
And it makes you wonder, Mike, when the running game has been working so well all game, that they wouldn't have gone back and just tried to calm everything down, calm the situation down, and just keep the ball on the ground for a bit.
And really, looking back at this game so far, you wouldn't say that the passing game has been the strong suit of the Cougars offense. As you mentioned, they've really had their success on the ground.
Yeah, they've had a few outside screens that have worked to a little bit of success for them as well, to pull 5-6 yards at a time. But it's been the running game that's carried them today.
So on the 2-yard line here, Hamilton threatening to score to come within a touchdown, and it looks like they're in for the score. Wow, what a comeback here from Hamilton. You know, the Cougars coaching staff isn't happy about this one. They got to find a way to put this offense back on the field and get things rolling, because Hamilton, with this extra point, is going to be within a touchdown of tying this game up.
And you think already that Hamilton has turned the ball over once on downs when they were deep in Chatham's end in this quarter as well, when they had that ball on the half-yard line that they got a penalty.
They certainly did. So they're going to go for the single here, which would put them within 7. Oh, and that's a big ball. Jeremiah Hamilton coming right up the middle makes the block. So that is a big point right there. Should Hamilton get a score, they'll have to go for 2.
what a great play as he just burst right through the middle with some speed and authority. And that ball never had a chance to get up elevated at all because he was able to get his hands up there.
So with 1:57 to go, it's 37-29. Again, at halftime, the Cougars led 29-0. And at one point, they led 37-7. And the Hamilton Panthers have come all the way back to make it a one-score game, 37-29. 1:57 to go here. Again, at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex, you're watching Varsity Football on TV Cogeco. I'm Mike James, joined by my new broadcast partner today. Usually Mike Renier here in the booth, but today Dave Palmer, filling in admirably. And
well, thank you very much. It's been fun.
Having a great time here in a much closer game than we expected since halftime.
Yeah, no kidding. And it was one of those things too where you and there comes a flag for kicking it out of bounds as well. Where you would expect, it's tough, right? When you're nursing a big lead like that, how far do you keep the hammer down? Like, do you ease off a bit? And it always seems to happen when you do ease off that just opens up that crack, and the floodgates seem to come from there.
So the Cougars now bring that offense back out on the field, and they got to get things going. They got to get this clock run out. They got to get some first downs, and Zach Walton, the starting quarterback, is back in again.
And you would expect at this point that they're going to have to be a little bit more conservative and keep the ball on the ground and try and, just punish them.
Well, that's what Hamilton is expecting. They loaded the box that time, and they stopped Chris Verrill right at the line of scrimmage. That's exactly what Hamilton's expecting them to do.
Well, you've got to think that the Cougars are obviously a bit rattled. Back-to-back turnovers on their last two possessions with the fumble that led to a touchdown, and then the interception was almost a pick six, which led to a quick touchdown right afterwards.
So obviously Hamilton with a lot of confidence right now. The Cougars.
Crowd trying to get them into it as well.
Yeah, the Hamilton crowd getting pretty loud here. Cougars gonna hand it off inside. Blaine Bayshard, a nice run, fighting for yardage. He's gonna come close to a first down, but he's gonna be short. A nice job by the Hamilton defense. Some good strong yards up the middle, but Bayshard gonna come up about 3.5 yards short, maybe 3 yards short. And the Cougar punting team coming onto the field. So Hamilton's defense,
25.
Hamilton's defense does its job.
It does what you obviously need them to do, right? Get a quick stop and get your offense back onto the field as well. But I don't think it's necessarily that Hamilton's offense has been doing as well as the fact that Chatham's been shooting themselves in the foot. They've been given some short fields with which to work, especially in this fourth quarter.
So now Hamilton calling a timeout, getting ready for this punt. Maybe we'll even see some trickery here. Maybe the Hamilton special teams coach maybe looking at maybe a reverse here perhaps. They know that Clark Green has a strong leg. And the way the wind is blowing right now, it looks like he'll have the wind at his back. The Canadian flag up there blowing near the scoreboard, showing us that there is a wind at Clark Green's back. So
do you try and combat this and go for an angle kick, right? And try and kick it out of bounds.
Try and pin them deep.
And take away any possibility of the return game. Might be the safer play to make at this point, and then just come up and ask your defense to make some plays.
Right.
And it's not like the defense has played horribly. They've had a couple of questionable calls. Like there was a couple of defensive interference calls. The one in the end zone that resulted in the 2-point play, and then the one in the corner as well that could have gone either way as well.
And the defense has been put in some difficult positions here in the second half for the Cougars. Yeah, certainly. So here comes the kick. We mentioned one had already been blocked, but this one, a good kick, and it's a deep kick. Caught cleanly by the return man for Hamilton. And a good coverage there from the special teams of the Cougars.
Good response after a long kick, but it wasn't necessarily high. So it didn't necessarily allow the return guys a lot of time to get down there, but they did cover a lot of ground quickly.
Nathan Brown with the return for Hamilton. So they're going to have a bit of field to cover here. The Cougars defense is certainly going to be tested. So Hamilton, they're going to start with the ball on their own 26-yard line. with a minute 13 to go, trailing 37-29. They'll need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie this thing up.
That big block is the difference right now on the extra point.
So all in the shotgun, 5 receivers set here. They're going to go to the left side, go short, and that's a short pass and catch. Good job there by the defense.
Good swarming defense too. After the first hit had been made to cover and help out.
Looked like it was Garrett McMullen there, 76 with the catch on that far side. Short gain on that one. And immediately to the line of scrimmage with a minute 6 to go here. They're going to say is a gain of less than a yard.
Play whistled in and the clock keeps moving.
So all in the shotgun again. 6 receivers set this time. He's going to that right side, the left side, far side of the field. That pass falls incomplete. So that stops the clock.
He rarely throws to the right side. It's interesting.
Yeah, but if you're a defensive back on that right side,
Better stay away.
you're just keeping in the back of your mind that it could be coming to this side at any time. You just can't you can't lose that focus and just keep thinking they're never going to come over here. So Wall in the shotgun, third down here in about 9. It's a big down here. Wall stepping up into the pocket, looking for a man. Oh, but it is tipped and caught. That pass nearly picked off. That ball was directly in the hands of Brandon Villaranda, the defensive back. It went right through his hands and right into the hands of the receiver. So a big first down here for Hamilton at the 53-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like Nathan Brown, number 11, was the one that caught that one for Hamilton.
There we go, 1st and 10. Now he's going to look out to the right side. They're going to say that's incomplete. That was dropped. That one intended for Davis Winch. Oh, now they're saying it was caught.
Good catch.
Excuse me.
Boy, it looked like it hit the ground first, but
at first I thought I heard them say incomplete, but now they say it's a good catch. So 41.7 seconds to go. Hamilton driving here, trying to tie this one up. He looks out to the right side, then to the left. Pressure in his face. He's going to try to get rid of it, and he does.
Flag comes out, though.
Yep.
So was he outside of the tackles?
Not sure what the penalty is going to be
here.
Maybe
Holding
it's
or
a
intentional
hold.
Grounding. Didn't appear to be a receiver in that area, but then again, if he's outside of the tackle, it doesn't.
Oh, they're picking the flag up, they're saying. So 3rd down here, 3rd and 7.
So maybe there was a receiver nearby there, and at first maybe they were thinking it was intentional grounding.
No flag. So another big 3rd down, 31.6 seconds to go. The Cougars leading 37-29. Cougars defense needs to come up big here. Try and salt away this victory. Ball back to pass. He's looking left and he's going deep. He's got a receiver over there and a defensive back. Looked like it was pass interference, offensive pass interference, but no call. Nonetheless, the pass falls incomplete, and now there is a flag on the field.
Flag in the middle of the field now at this point.
Not sure why there was no offensive pass interference call there. There was certainly a push in the back.
Quite obvious that Tristan Robinette had gotten pushed in the back as you could see him lunge forward, and that certainly wasn't his own doing.
Now waiting to see what the call is here. They're going to call that against Hamilton.
Seems to be that they're switching off the players here, and the defense is, or the offense, I should say, for Chatham is coming back onto the field with 24.4 seconds to go.
Wow. What a game.
It's been a back and forth game, hasn't it, after Chatham totally dominated that first half in every possible facet of the game. Hamilton coming out, and again, Hamilton the benefit of some mistakes made by Chatham with turnovers deep in their own zone.
Yeah, the Cougars coaching staff isn't going to be happy with the second half of this tape for sure. The first half, brilliant. Second half, not so much. But the key is that they hold on for the victory here, leading 37-29 with 24.4 seconds to go. The Cougars in the victory formation here. Zach Welton takes a snap and takes a knee. So the clock stops at 22.9. And now it starts on the whistle. And 18 seconds and counting. The Cougars will take the victory here. They'll let that clock run down.
37-29 is the score we're looking at the moment as we head into the final 10 seconds.
Cougars just waiting for that clock to run out. And they'll take the knee again, and that's a game. And boy, was it ever closer than it had to be for the
There
Cougars.
was some hearts pounding on the sidelines for the coaching staff.
But again, you've got to give the Hamilton Panthers a lot of credit for fighting back from that one. As we mentioned, they were trailing 29-0 in the first half. They come all the way back to bring it to within one score, but they come up just short, 37-29. And should these two teams meet again, I'm sure that's going to be in the back of the minds of both of these squads. But nonetheless, the Cougars get the win.
Cougars take advantage of their opportunities. Hamilton took advantage of some of theirs in the second half, but as you said, Mike, just coming up short on the Hamilton side, but a great victory for Chatham-Kent.
So the Cougars improve their record to 2-2. They're undefeated at home after this big victory here, 37-29 over the Hamilton Panthers. The Hamilton Panthers now fall to 2-2, coming in with a 2-1 record. So these two squads with an even 2-2 record now. The Cougars, a tough test next weekend, though. They'll be back here on home field, and they'll face Burlington again, a team that hasn't allowed a point on it all year.
Well, you know that's got to break at some point, right? I mean, you think someone's going to at least put some points up on the board, and you start with that and move from there.
So again, thank you for joining us here from the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. OFC football, varsity football here. And again, the Cougars get a big 37-29 victory on home field to remain undefeated and even their record at 2-2 on the season. Again, for myself, Mike James, Dave Palmer, and Jeff on the camera, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed varsity football here on TV Cogeco. Join us again next time.